also able to earn 87 points, putting them 1 point ahead of 4th place and booking their trip to the final. The last region of the day had 6 different teams vying for the single qualifying spot. Ultimately, Arkham 1X and Bloom Falconer were able to hold off a couple of last-minute surging teams. The duo had only played together for 3 days before the event, but were able to use their consistent performance to earn 99 points and be the 11th duo to qualify for the Fortnite World Cup final. Congratulations to those who have qualified, but don't forget there's still more Fortnite competition on the horizon.
Where's the cancel?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. EU is absolutely insane. Having the chance to cast that with my cohort, Balla, I would consider a gift, to be quite honest with you. We saw some insanity. The double rocket strategy,
That's all I have to say.
I don't know if that's going to happen. But before we go too much further, we do have some more games for you. But we want to take a quick look at our European standings.
Yep.
No surprise, in my opinion, Balla, Mongrel putting on
10 points ahead of everybody. Yeah.
That's crazy. And look at how tightly spread the rest of the leaderboard is from 77 to 71. You have a 6-point difference there to make it the top 10.
Yeah.
Like I said, 10 more points gets you to first is ridiculous.
Exactly. All the spread between the second and 10, not much, but then first, that's crazy for these semifinals because these guys aren't necessarily all in the same lobbies. There's a lot of people playing. In EU, these lobbies, there's so many people playing, so not even the top 20 here, the top 100, they're not always getting into the same lobbies as they do on the finals. So to have this spread is insane for Mongrel.
There's a reason that there are 8 qualifying spots for solo.
Necessarily all in the same lobbies. There's a lot of people playing. In EU, these lobbies, there's so many people playing, so not even the top 20 here, the top 100, they're not always getting... there's a lot of people playing. In EU, these lobbies, there's so many people playing. So not even the top 20 or the top 100, they're not always getting.
From Europe specifically, and a bunch of those names some of the outlying regions, ones that we haven't necessarily had the opportunity to look directly into, and to join me in doing so, we need people to cast that. And for these games, I've got Sundown and Zeke.
Well,
Gentlemen,
you know, you can also know us by another name.
Don't say it.
Cam and Zeke. Zeke and Cam, what's up?
Just so you know, this is not my idea. It's Zeke's idea, okay? Just so we're all very clear. Yeah.
Hey, Fortnite time. Let's go.
Now, gentlemen, if you could, please.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it, Lupo. Thank you, being awesome as always. Sundown, we get to cast games together. Boom. Boom.
Yeah, it's going to be super enjoyable. And like Dr. Lupo just said, we want to highlight not only the regions that we're awake for, though I did stay up and watch a little bit of Oceania last night, but some of the games that might have happened last night. We want to give everyone a chance. So we're going to hop right on in, drop off the battle bus, and check out some of the Oceania matches we might have missed last night, starting off with the person who took that #1 spot, Spraz. We saw a little bit of his highlight tape, so now we're going to jump into some of these end games and see what he has. And honestly, I've really enjoyed our look-ins on Asia and Oceania so far. It's really nice to be able to see how these players actually play, kind of the differences in these end game situations, and how the players are able to execute, particularly the difference between what ends up happening on Saturday and on Sunday, because those leaderboards do end up seeing such a massive shift between the two. And Spraz, great pressure coming out right there.
You'll like to see it. So I'm really excited to tune into Spraz specifically because I kind of talked about it earlier. This is not someone on my radar right now, and I'm really excited to hop in, break down his gameplay. He's already at 72 points in this game, and very nice recovery there. We saw the RPG come in. He's like, no. It's good. I'm ready to go, ready to build and protect myself. You like to see it. Check out the loadout as well. Dude, 2 Rift to go, already 40 eliminations. All right, Spraz, who are you? I want to know everything about you.
Well, it looks like he has a nice little plug there, so if you want to go learn some more about him, I'm sure you can check him out and some of his gameplay and videos on social as well. But the circle is closing in, and you saw that point format. In your top left-hand corner, you can see there's 18 players remaining, which means everyone left in this lobby has gotten that first round of placement points, 3 points to their name. They're now looking to stay in the server, stay in the Battle Royale to be top 15. That's where the next 2 come out, and Ace is going to go down just outside of it, as, of course, its chain also goes down, missing out on those 2 placement points. Luigi goes back down through that pipe and is outside the top 15. Now everyone getting the guaranteed 5 placement points so far, Zeke.
Keeping on board here with Spraz. I like this. Let's see what else is going on. Let's get a lay of the land as well, because keep in mind, look at the bottom right of your screen, right? We're going up northeast. Spraz is still on a spree here. 6 eliminations to his name. This guy is popping off, and he finds more rockets as well. He's sitting back on 12. We saw him fire one not too long ago. He's still good to go.
Yeah, he is still good to go. And also, just an update in terms of the Oceania region. It did take 13 points to qualify through to the finals, so not quite as steep in terms of the competition that you're seeing from EU, where the cutoff ended up being right around high 40s for just this past one. Oh, great pickup there from Cutie Casper. I mean, that was a cute little edit. Cheeky to get that elimination off, and now fully refreshed on builds, up to just over 140 before he was able to take that high ground, and sitting on 50 points as well. So we'll be seeing him in that Sunday competition.
Casper keeping on with the keeping on right now. 3 Elam's his name, 109 builds, gold across the board, and a boogie bomb. I like that he's holding on to this. I really hope he uses it and puts it to work right now. We see the RPG coming out. Spraz going on the offensive here, taking on French Male. As the rockets are coming in, nothing connects though, as Casper trying to overtake high ground. Coming in from Spraz's perspective right now. He does have the second rift to go, so he's already burned one. And I should go back and use. He even has a launch pad somehow. He's still fine.
Yep, and top hat going down there. Now some shots going out towards him, and Casper trying to just punish him right there. You see Ryanair over on the side with the ball. Spraz does get the force deploy coming out, so there's a maximum dive height. What that means is you're only allowed to be in the act of diving for so long. As you see, French Male is forced to pop his parachute, then you slowly glide down, which leaves you vulnerable. But Spraz does get down to the low ground, no issue there. Now they're start firing RPGs up towards the high ground, does knock the player.
What?
Yep, Cutie Casper was still on the high ground, had no means to get down, and wasn't able to connect and catch himself in time. Super heads-up play from Spraz.
That was absolutely dope, and he's just going to keep on going, man. He still has 10 rockets sending him downward. He gets a nice 115 there, huge explosion. He's going to try and isolate this last remaining player. It is 1v1v1, 3 players remain total, 1 up in the sky. Shots coming through, an 18, a few 17s, and a 20. This guy's beaming this dude.
Yeah, that's what we talked about, that force deploy, and it makes you super vulnerable. Now Ryanair and French Male with less than 50 combined HP between them, going to take some time to pop minis. But Spraz has a both pin there. Ryanair ends up going down, still using the high ground and the RPG. We've seen this story before, Zeke. It's a pretty good one, but I think you know how it goes.
That's right. Person with RPG is going to be in a way. Wait, hold on. I take that all back. A nice stinker here to flush him backwards. Spraz is coming down. The whole structure is being broken, but it's okay. He's going to build himself back up in a very clean 77. Through and through Spraz. 9 eliminations. Maintaining that cool is... he converts it to a victory. That was insane. Very well executed on his part.
That very well executed. The only dicey bit kind of when he was in that force deploy state was trying to get down the side, but able to then turn that around into his advantage, knock Casper down, but now going to jump right on board. We have X-Dilladu. You have Kieran, who's, off brand here, not in a ball, already on the high ground. And if you are just joining us, welcome everyone, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Jonesies, Bonesies, and everyone in between. This is week 3 of the Fortnite World Cup Online Open qualifiers, and because we want to give highlights to every single one of the regions, we're hopping on into some of the Oceania gameplay, some of the stuff that happened last night, give these guys a little bit of their spotlight, because we've already seen some incredible players coming out of Oceania. Slaya qualifying in the first week for the solos. You had Mindfreaks, Twiz, and Cover H picking up the lone qualification spot last week. And again, Z, only 1 spot on the line, which they'll all be battling for tomorrow.
That's right. A lot of these players have to really focus in and try to qualify. That's kind of what I want to talk about a little. Okay, Brody, listen. Okay, we're playing Fortnite. We're not playing Fortnite Tower Lasers. Okay.
That was incredible, and it was also to push him into the top 15, so a high-value elimination there being worth 3 points. And onto Chief Sink, who we've seen, and is one of the players who's been called out as somebody to watch. So getting an elimination on him there, denying him points and pushing yourself farther up the table, that's huge. But now jumping on board with Kays, who's getting pressured from the side, but also trying to apply a little bit of pressure himself as that new zone comes in, Zeke.
Take a look at the loadout, though. He doesn't have much in the way of, busting through builds. That blue SMG is going to put in a few bit of work, but, you're really hoping and looking for things like rotation tools, right? Rift to goes, launch pads, explodes of any kind. Even stink grenades would be massive here. There's no utility, but maybe he finds eliminations. He only has the 1, so as the zone's going to start moving here in a moment, too. We're kind of coming down this mountain, so hopefully he can find some eliminations on the way. Nice pick up there as I speak about it. He's like, look, hold on, let me manifest this for you. Come on, anything, ammo. Okay, no upgrades quite yet, but we'll see as things
Community
unfold.
launch pad, he heard it go off next to him. And there, speak of the devil, Twiz in the match as well as Renegade's Jesse. But Kays dropping down one of the poison darts does, and no, the poison darts didn't end up hitting him. So Fun fact about those, Zeke, they are true projectiles. So if you throw a ramp in between where the projectiles don't hit you, the damage doesn't actually end up going off. You have to end up getting connected by it. So good on K's there to make sure he blocked that one off, and Bash is going to be forced to rotate right past him right now.
Very well executed as far as knowing how to battle inside of 1x1. We see him going up, though. Looks like he's building over someone's head right now. Keep in mind, 13 players. As the shots come down, Bash is sent back to the lobby. He's going to continue his reign of terror, looking to find more eliminations. He had just the one not that long ago, Sundown. He's looking to accrue as many as possible. Points very vital.
Yeah, points vital indeed, particularly in Oceania, as that #1 spot is all that matters. Again, this is the semifinals, so top 3,000 solo players will advance to tomorrow. That's required 13 points in Oceania, and how you get those points is 10 cumulative placement points for the victory out, being given at 25, 15, and 5 placement threshold. Each elim is being 1 point. So now we got Jesse jumping into the double box, but there was actually a ramp in between, so he fell right through. He's like, don't mind me just passing by here. But he's also out of build, so he's looking to make a play, and will he find it? Yes, he does, and that is huge. 66 more build stream, gets the siphon as well, back over 100 effective HP. That's the play you're looking for from one of the X2 twins.
Absolutely very well done. It was perfectly gifted. We said he needs to find someone, and he falls down on someone unsuspectingly, and he takes him down. And now look, with another elim, Jesse's at 6, and he's topped back off.
But his brother Jordan is above him.
What?
So Jordan is up on the high ground. If you're unfamiliar with the X2 twins, they share all their socials. They share their Twitch. Everything is shared. But the performances in solos are not. They've been put in this situation before. Jesse on the low ground, Jordan up on the high ground right now. Jesse sitting on the 6 elims, but almost out of maps, trying to find it. Gets the 65 drop. Will he find the second? He does.
K's.
That was K's going down, as you say, and we're closer to that top 5. He's sitting on 62. Heavy sniper.
Oh my God!
And he finds it, Zeke, into the top 5. That was nuts.
The question is, where is his brother right now? This is something, if it comes down to 1v1.
He's on builds, he needs the mats.
He finds some down below. It's okay. It's only a handful. It's not a lot to work with, but he's going to make sure he can use. They're right next to each other. Sundown. They have to know. The other has to know their twin is in this line. If the edit comes down, he takes him down.
You talk about brotherly love. Send it back to Kane and Abel. Jesse sitting across the desk says you can queue up again. No problem there. Brilliant from him, but he's trying to find more. Using the heavy sniper, he's pushing back into the next box. Will he get the edit? Saxleia tries. Jesse is waiting for it, finds the shot, moves him into the top 3 with 10 elims.
Son, he only found 17 builds. He basically has nothing. Kieran's down low. Vala's up top. He's got to do something.
You have Vala in your top right, Jesse in your bottom right, Kieran on the ultimate low on the left. Jesse's going to waterfall down, sees the player underneath him, has to recognize he has no build, dropping down on Kieran, who is not in a ball. Instead, he's fighting it out, and Jesse shows him why he should have been in a ball. Sending him back to lobby, no problem. He's trying to find the connector in order to drop Vala down. Vala has 102 builds, though, so he should just be able to wait this out. Jesse has absolutely nothing. He has to find an angle, has to do something. Vala's trying to peek. Can Jesse find the angle? Oh my God, he doesn't! He doesn't!
No way! Why?
Jesse, you didn't have to do it to him that hard. Not only did you take out your brother, but you took out the rest of the lobby. 12 eliminations and the victory route. 72 points. We'll definitely be keeping an eye on you tomorrow. That was a fantastic look into what happened in the semifinals of the Oceania portion of this qualifier. Lupo, man, that was, whew.
This is not the first time I've had the opportunity to talk or witness the X2 twins in action. The Australian Open, I got a chance to go out and actually see them in person. And all the players from Oceania put on, they're ridiculous. Mr. Fresh Asian, Jesse and Jordan, tons of others. And there's a reason that they're out here. They're pushing to try and compete in that one spot. Every single one of them extremely hungry to make their way to New York City for the World Cup Finals. Now, Oceania is not the only region that we're going to take a look at real quick. We also have Asia. And if you could, please, Zeke, Sundown, take us through.
You got it. Anything for you, Dr. Lupo. We're going to keep the ball rolling. Man, that last game left me absolutely speechless. I was sitting here with my hands on my head just like, Jesse, you're a monster. You're absolutely incredible. But someone else is Wenkin here. We saw him. He's coming out as that #1 seed going into tomorrow. And now we get to see some of his games. Again, this is someone that I'm not familiar with, and I'm so stoked to hop in and learn about this player.
That one of the newbie crew coming out from China. We've seen a little bit of them before across other games, but then also in some of our other semifinals. Haven't seen him quite necessarily able to convert all the way into a finals performance yet, but Wenkan showing that he can challenge with the best of the best. Again, Asia will have 2 solo spots tomorrow to go through, so by this time tomorrow, we'll have seen 3 additional players already qualify into that final. And again, it's Wenkan and KGA's Sexy Boy who are able to have those top 2 spots going into tomorrow. And we've seen, particularly with Asia, that momentum certainly carries over.
You know, man, it does, and I'm really excited because, like you said, we're going to see 3 more people punch their ticket, and I cannot be more excited. Like, in case this isn't super clear, right? These players are working their absolute hardest right now to try and qualify for the finals in New York City. They're doing everything they can. We've already seen one set of players come out from week 1, and now these players, especially someone coming in like 2nd place right outside in the bubble, they're trying to do everything they can to qualify and make it because this means the world to them.
It means quite literally the Fortnite World Cup to them. Sorry, that was an absolutely horrible pun there. But as you can see, Minty now trying to get some of the rifle elims, able to pick up both Banana and Puzz right there. That was a Puzzy Banana going down. Nice little double elim. It was an upside down banana. And it's almost like I was going to make a bad cake pun, but then I lost it. So I'm just going to leave that one there, not pick it up. As you see the next rotation coming out. Wow. So we've talked about it before. One, the rifling skills coming out of the Asia region is absurd. You talk about people's aims. I mean, honestly, you could accuse half of these guys as aimbot, and I would believe you if we didn't know for a fact that this is just what's normal out of the region. As Ortanisa doesn't miss anything right there and just drills the player, taking that trade down, but needs to be careful.
Man, he was trying to play Luke Goblin and it did not work in his favor. He should have taken the RPG. That could have potentially helped fracture builds, but it's okay. He's going to keep the ball rolling. We see a lot of these players still around. Look how many up here. A community launch pad for the group of players there. There's even someone building up super high on a single ramp. You got to assume they probably have a glider redeployer. They're doing something we don't know about, but now we're in with Wenkan again. He's got that heavy snipe. He could potentially punch through this build if he so desires. A nice few shots are cracking the player's shield. He's on the hunt. He wants to secure this elim. He's going to go through the box.
Goes aim hero.
Wow.
And you can see one thing in particular from Wenkan, he's putting himself right up against the box in these fights. He's not worrying about the other player trying to trade out from him. He wants to own the wall, or he wants to find a way to phase through, just trying to use whatever advantage he can to get in there as he picks up elim number 17, but needs to be careful now as he is able to get the loot, but is stuck on the low ground now, working his way up the side as Zero Sia from Japan does go down. Now you have Gangsta, Minty, Lit, Jonil, Nephrite. You also have one of the Crazy Raccoon Boys still in, but Minty does find a rocket onto Wenkan, the leader, trying to expose him, but doesn't find the combo, making sure he was safe behind the 2nd layer of ramp. And Courage talked about it, that fully built metal, once it gets up to a little bit, can withstand some of the explodes.
Oh my God! What?
How scary was that, Zeke?
Okay, listen, he definitely was hit. He was in the critical. He makes a single edit and catches the guy who just shot him from behind. Minty, what are you doing? You're playing out of your mind. He's trying to find more Tucson, and he's zoning. He's all in.
He's looking to shoot first, ask questions later as he's sliding down, not even opting to aim down sights, just flicking the shotgun, hoping to catch as much of the spread as possible. Did hear the turret deploy going out. Sometimes that's a little bit of a mistake, but sometimes players use it in order to get a faster, higher HP floor thrown in. So just blocking the player off, and it's down. Gets the elim from the fall damage going through the player, not able to catch himself there as Minty pushes himself into the top 5. So now Wenkan on the high ground. Crazy Raccoons Vanilla just underneath him. Lit and Minty on the low, but everyone is on the side of this Viking village just east of Snobby, trying to make plays. Minty, look at the aggression.
He is going. Oh my, the glider redeploy. Oh my God, my heart just stopped.
There's not enough space. Oh, someone else is going to redeploy. Will he be able to connect it? He gets it. That was Vanilla looking to try and make a play and capitalize on Minty, but Minty, showing his flick skills, are still there, getting out with 12 HP plus the Siphon. Needs to pop these minis as we move farther from the side of the cliff, so he's okay. Ooh,
That's a trap.
heard it though.
Oh
I could have swore he wasn't just gonna run out directly underneath the trap, because I'm like, there's no way. You heard it just armed. Maybe he thought it was in by the 1x1 next to him, but this is just a reminder, kids. Always check ceilings. When you get home from school, check your ceilings. See if there's a spike trap there.
Yeah, I feel like for me, I was so, I heard it and my brain automatically was like, hey, there's a trap, like, don't worry about it. Like, this guy's, you know, he's not gonna fall for that. And so I didn't even comment. I was like, I was gonna put it out of my mind. One less thing to think about. And
Though, to be fair, he was pinned, right? So, like, he had to go out that way, because otherwise you're pushing through the other players 1x1s, but still, it's tough. Now, jumping on board with KGA Sexy Boy, he did finish in that second place spot. We're gonna jump over to one of his earlier matches, so you can see there, one, the circle is a little less dense as Circle 5 is closing and 15 players are remaining, so everyone has scored the 5 points from their placement. He also has 4 eliminations, so this to me kind of tells you we're looking in at what his first match looked like and what kind of like the first experience of these semifinals generally ends up being for some of these players in the other regions. But Sexy Boy has been dominant in solos, duos. We've seen him on every one of these leaderboards.
oh yeah, dude, this is a name we're getting all too familiar with, right? This guy is an absolute monster, a slayer. I cannot wait to see more of his games. And honestly, if Asia just keeps this going, I'm literally gonna lose my voice. Like, I just yelled so much that last game. I feel it in my soul, but man, it was so dope.
Yeah, so one thing in particular when it comes to Asia with the semifinal regions, it tends to be a lot more about how much you can capitalize on those eliminations while also winning the match. Like, that's what FaxFox did so well in the first qualifier in order to get there, as you get a reminder of what those placement thresholds are. If you get into the top 25, it's 3 points. Now we're in that 6 to 15 range, so that's 5 cumulative points. If a player gets into the top 5, they'll get 2 more, and then the victor royale walks away with an additional 3. But as I was saying, Z, each elimination being 1 point, particularly in Asia for the semifinals, how much you're able to rack up on those eliminations while also winning the match plays a huge role in where you are on the leaderboard.
Yeah, I like that. Trying to go full offensive, get as many elims as possible, rack up a victory out. I mean, the points will, you know, you'll snowball very quickly if you do that. Have one super stellar game and then get all, you know, the victory out. We saw Mongrel do it not that long ago. So if you're just doing what Mongrel does, I guess see you tomorrow. I mean, you know.
Well, and another big thing, particularly with Asia, if you don't do it, if you're not playing that aggressive and you're only playing for placements and getting your points that way, somebody else is doing the same thing you're doing placement-wise, but getting all those eliminations. And it's all about being the best or being in that top 2 once you get to Sunday. I think you saw that player who was right next to him. Not sure where that player went, as they both opt to edit and just run away. Now he's looking to capitalize on this edge of zone rotation in a box, but Weibo Easy does go down. The player from China falling to Adam FA as he continues this backside of the circle rotation looking for elims.
Man, he's poised to do real well right now, that RPG. He's got plenty of utility. He even has a slurp juice. We see Zalaro just make his way to the high ground there, trying to take it away from Francisco. Down on the low ground, though, Sexy Boy is in critical right now. If that storm wall touches him even for a moment, that's it.
That was so scary. He went back to grab loot when he was on 5 HP, where if it had even touched him, he would have gone down. Like, I wouldn't go anywhere near that storm wall, but proving me wrong why he's one of the best in the region, and I'm sitting here commentating on it, getting a great elim there, catching another player in the back. That 180 cover was nasty. He shouldn't have got out of there.
I mean, he made it for sure with 10 builds left, Sundown. He manages to mini himself off, but he needs to make something happen quickly. Howl is on the other side in another 1x1 next to him. We see him maybe trying to find that community launch pad as well. We see someone bonk their head. Munt is taken to the high ground right now. And all eyes are on Sexy Boy. He's got 6 okay. He's gonna find someone else. This is huge. Find the builds. Get the builds. We're up. Oh, wow. We went from basically nothing to everything. Almost 100 builds. That's it. Now, I'm thinking Sexy Boy's ready to close this game out.
He absolutely has to close this game out now. You can see, doesn't get the clip, so he would have been fine because of the slope of that, but also had the glider redeploy, so no stress on your point, Zeke. It's okay.
Sure did.
Breathe, it's fine.
Rocking back
Adam now. RPGs from the high ground going down. Fake out did take out Crazy Raccoon's Francisco, but Sexy Boy cleaning it up right there. Now under duress from the RPGs. Will catch it with the floor. Player does fall underneath, but now that means he has the high ground. If he can get out of this box, kind of panicking by the look of it, can't quite find himself, but now resets, gets the high ground. Gotta pop the minis here, Zeke.
He's got to be real careful of that player. Okay, I was going to say, they have the RPG, the glider redeploy. He needs to build a wall to keep himself. It doesn't even matter. He says, I don't need the wall, Adam. Go back to the lobby.
That was, honestly, like it seemed like both of those players kind of panicked there, but Sexy Boy showing off that his aim was clean, able to take out all the ones there, no problem.
Speaking of Sexy Boy, let's send it over to Dr. Lupo and Bala.
It's funny, Zeke, I was actually literally going to say, Twitch chat, listen, I know you think they're talking about me, but it is actually a player from the Asian region. I know. Easily confused. Don't worry. I don't blame you. Yeah, Zeke is slow clapping, and he was actually rocking back and forth like a baby in his chair. The plays there are ridiculous. Now, before we go too much further, we have 2 games from Oceania, 2 games from Asia, but Brazil is underway. Yes. And before we go too much further, before we take a look at the plays themselves, we're going to look at the leaderboard.
Yeah.
Bala.
Here it is, Brazil. This is live standings right now. They're still playing their games out. Asia and Oceanic, they were done. But here, Brazil. This is the entire South American region right here. DYF7S on top with 40 points right now, but the spread not too crazy. And if we look at the points from EU that we saw earlier, they've still got a ways to play.
Now, I will say, a lot to play. It's very impressive that the Twitch clan very well represented across. Oh, that's a joke, sorry. 40, 38, and then you have the top 2 are at a pretty, top 1 World Cup. This right here, this is confidence. This is screaming confidence, and you love to see it, right? Players like this, I mean, Brazil's definitely not one to be taken lightly. Nope. We're going to see even right there, 40 and 38, and then you have a spread of 5, and we've only had a handful of games play. That's a big difference this early. As we were looking earlier at the European standings, a 10-point difference from first to second, only 5 here from second to third. Yeah, tons of games remaining to play. One thing, though, that I'm not seeing on here is Nix and Leleo, who have been dominating this Brazil region recently in solos and everything. Actually calling them out on stream right now, Paula, which I don't blame you. You're right. The past 2 weeks, we've seen stellar performances from both players, and thus far, now, like we said, you only have a handful of games being played up until this point, so there's still a big opportunity for them to show up. Speaking of showing up, Bala, I want to see exactly how some of these names made it to the top of the leaderboard, and to take us through that, we got Sundown and Zeke.
Thank you so much, Lupo and Bala, and we're going to jump right on in. Top 1 World Cup, popping the rift off and rotating away. You have Gustavo and Darkson looking for where that rift went off, but they might just end up finding each other instead. Top 1 World Cup, though, just going to get down there in time to see that Elim go off. Needs to be careful of the trap. Knows the player is pinned in there, edits his way down, but can't find the outside. Is able to track the player to the next box. Can he force his way in, though?
He's going to do everything he can. The player is very well defending himself. He does have the heavy snipe, but remember, he has to reload it. Wall replaced. That's a secured Elim. He's got to be careful, though. Remember, that trap is not that far away. But again, speaking of what Dr. Lupo kind of talked about, top 1 World Cup, confidence. My, oh my. Just exuding it.
Is that Nick?
You know, listen.
I'm not positive, but like.
I mean, whatever I just watched.
I haven't looked at anything, but I just I wouldn't be shocked if that did actually end up being Nick's playing on ult for the sake of doing it, or just swapping his name. As TMG Coffee can go get some coffee, you need to wake up after that one.
What am I watching here? Okay, top 1 World Cup is saying, listen, everyone in the world watching. I'm number 1, and I'm showing you why. Already on 11 Elims, by the way. The format there on the right side of your screen. If you're just tuning in, welcome. Let's just take a moment, Sundown. Hey, if you just got here, hey, man, or lady, or person, dog, doggo, pupper.
Or however you identify. Everyone's welcome here, man.
I was speaking to the cute puppers that watch the stream. But yeah, point format, top 25, 15, 5 victory out. I'll place the thresholds. Each elim is worth 1 point. We are in week 3. Odd weeks are back to solos. Even weeks are on duos. So that's what we're watching. Whoa, what was that flick? Okay, Sundown, I just need to get up and walk away. I gotta get up and walk away, dog.
Yeah, top 1 World Cup is certainly putting his name to the test right now. Sitting on 25 points, and now this is something we've talked about with the volcano, how everything sort of gets reset, but top 1 is not falling into that, just keeping on the backside of the rotation, trying to lay down whatever shots he can as his players are forced to glide away, and then opting not to utilize the glide at all, just going to build his way out and maintain this high ground.
I like that he's keeping it on his left, though. It is an option, right? He could use it if he feels it's necessary, but he doesn't even mind. He's like, look, no, I'm just going to sit right here. You guys are going to try and use this. I'm going to take shots. Nothing connected. These shots are very difficult to make when players are flying all around the volcano, but he still lands a very nice tag. Another player dropped down, 17. And Poker gets sent back to the lobby.
Yeah, but you know what they say, Zeke, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take in World Cup. Right there is taking plenty and converting on plenty now. Fragging himself into a top 5 situation. So 7 placement points from there. It's all about the victory royale and the elims from here on out. And he is in a great place in order to utilize that. The only one on high ground here as the vents are now out of play.
I feel like he just starts sending rockets. Now he's got 11 of them. He has plenty artillery. We see a player down below. Okay, so he had to reload the rocket. I thought he had reloaded it before. I was mistaken. Now keep in mind, he does have high ground. There's someone trying to build up on the left, challenge him. He says, no. I'm top #1 World Cup. That's right. We're going to see the shots come through, but nothing has connected just yet. Nice wall replace, but the player's already gone, so now they're just weaseling their way down below.
Yep, and again, over that vent to reset. He's trying to find that player, knowing he's not going to have as much control, landing himself to the side of it, which is something really critical. Doing so well. He hasn't touched the vent once other than when he dropped the other player down. Instead, he's kept his feet planted and been able to return fire. If you're in the air, you're not taking shots. And top 1 World Cup has been doing nothing but that and nothing but connecting.
I love that he's using the okay, there you go. 15 elims. I mean,
those aren't words.
I'm stunned. I am stunned. That was an absolute dominant performance. Whoever you are, first of all, tweet at us and say, hey, by the way, this is me. Hello, great to meet you. It's fantastic, but we have more games to play, Sundown.
All right, hey, use the hashtag right now, hashtag Fortnite World Cup. Who do you think is playing on top 1 World Cup? Or who do you think will be the top 1 at the World Cup for the solos? Give me both. Give me your predictions. I think it's Nyx, but I'm not sure. If any of the detectives out there on Instagram or Twitter want to use the hashtag and kind of check it out. But the action doesn't stop. We're going to keep rolling through the matches. Hopping on in with UK Demoli here. And again, this is a check-in to our Brazil region, which just started recently. So most of the players have only gotten through 3, 4, maybe 5 games. We've got a couple of rough drops, but that's okay. You get 3 hours, 10 matches, and an absolutely absurd hand cannon headshot coming out from Demoli there. Didn't even look like he waited for that first shot accuracy to come in, just kind of flicked it.
He was so confident in the ability. 149. That's enough. That's enough. But look how many people are still here, shoulder to shoulder. It's so congested here. We see RIP. Okay, I was going to say it's a danger, but...
RIP.
RIP, in peace. Vector's here, hopping on with him. Now, I'm not sure if this is actually his loadout or this is kind of one of those small bugs we kind of see. Don't worry, guys. We're going to get these fixed up. We're constantly iterating on this replay system, so...
Yeah, just like the slightly updated UI and the points counter. So you see him. We talked about how each elimination is a point. Went from no points to 1 point right there. So has to feel good for Vector getting on the board. Also in that top left, you can see our updated player counter and elimination feed, so you can keep track of the action. In the bottom right-hand corner, you can see the storm zone we're on and also how long until the storm starts ticking over. So when that clock hits 0, right, Storm will start moving towards that new white zone as Vector gets himself on the board again for a great second elim and a rift. And you also see now his toolbar does update. That's the wrong way, friends.
Maybe just a slight moment of panic. It's okay. We hit top 25. He's going to get his first hit of placement points, 5 total to Vector's name, which is huge. But look how many people are still here. There's so many that left that need to go down. You see them starting to scramble, try to get themselves to safety, as a lot of these guys are maintaining that mid-ground tarp. Look down below. There's so many people in ballers. There's about 3, maybe 4 in play. And now Helma on Twitch here. Back to the Storm, doing everything they can to make it to safety. I like that they picked up the compact there. That's going to put in so much work. And 8 minis as well. They're ready to make some trades.
Yeah, honestly, being a little bit of a gift from the loot fairy there. Minute game just kind of fell and self-eliminated right there. And then all the loot was directly on top of Helma, just raining down on him like a pinata. Typically, it's from a player being shot out of the sky, but just kind of a gift right there. No problem. His own little personal supply crate, but he's going to make one for himself with 2 back-to-back. Can he make it 3? Yes, he does. Helma on Twitch in the top left-hand corner. That's the only name you're looking at, and all those ballers grouped up over there. He's going to ignore them and head for more elims. So we talk about the advantage the ballers give you in terms of the shield and the rotation and the movement, but you cannot capitalize on these points opportunities in some of the circumstances. One of the few weaknesses they do end up happening as Helma is rotating on the backside of that Storm, able to get another elimination, Zeke. That's 4 super fast.
Oh my God, Helma's making this look so easy. They're so comfortable right now with their Storm. They're back to the Storm wall. That, if I'm in this situation, I'm freaking out. I'm thinking, how do I get myself away? But Helma's like, nope, I'm going to keep racking up elims back to back to back. And I mean, keep in mind, those siphons are coming through. He's at 200. Another one. Raphael goes down. That's another one. 105 to that man's face. And another follow of 6 elims just like that.
Brilliant from Helma there, taking down one of the W7M players. Very strong organization, tons of players. We've seen Dekeouts, Blackouts, and Nix all represent them incredibly well, but taken down there. Now you have Twaco, Argentinian, coming out from 9Z, trying to put pressure here, get himself into that top 5. That is Helma right there, but he wants it. He is another one of our players who is higher up there on the leaderboard, so trying to do anything he can to get some points right here. As you can see, popping down the campfire, getting the minis off, trying to maximize whatever he can. Nope.
That's an edit! Julian, if you don't own something, you gotta replace it, buddy. You can't forget.
You can't just be coned up on top of somebody else's ceiling. Like,
they're gonna take advantage of that full force. Twaco there finds another one on column. I'm curious to see where Hella was. Don't forget, Twaco did find the RPG. Helma's down below in the critical HP right now, Sundown.
Yeah, I think this is definitely going to go away to Twaco. He's being patient, does drop down into the box, misses the first shot. Will he be able to connect? And the assault rifle spray at close range is just so accurate. Helma does get exposed, 30 builds left as we work over the lava. Helma trying to jump out to the side. Great side off right there.
I was about to say, that was so sick. Helma, you're a freaking legend. This is going to be a really hard, this is an uphill battle if I've ever seen one.
He knocked him down. So that was so smart from Twaco. Falling down right there, he can afford to put the RPG at point blank range, knowing he's 100-100, even if he's even with the other player, because he's the one going first and dictating the decision. He'll get first chance on the swap, so that plus being on high ground, it didn't matter. He could effectively just go in and say, surprise, 2 for 1, that plus the siphon. Victor Real takes the elimination. Brilliant coming out of Twaco.
Absolutely. Let's not even forget Helma as well, putting on quite the clinic. Both of these players, I cannot wait to see more of them going on in the future. And if you're looking for someone out of this region to take a look at, definitely check them out because they are slayers. Very nice flick shot coming out of Thomas here, sending that player back to the lobby. Ruben, I'm sorry, friend. Have to try again next time. We are at 24 players, so don't forget, we just did get our first set of placement points. Top 25 is that, but look at the bottom right side of the screen. We're in circle 5, and a lot of these players are starting to move and get it to safety. That storm circle is already moving.
Yep, storm circle moving, going over there, and we're over just on the side by Polar Peak, so potential variable elevation in play. Also, Skatey Feet coming in. Nocturno's
That's my favorite.
Skaty feet. No, honestly, it's your favorite. I think it's just the worst, particularly as somebody who prefers close quarter combats. Have you tried box fighting?
Yeah.
You have skaty feet on? It's awful.
Oh, no, it's so much fun. I don't know what you're talking about. I like chaos, so I'm all about it. You know what's funny, though? I had this conversation with my little brother about 3 nights ago. Don't you remember when this used to be greasy?
Yeah, absolutely.
I
I used to drop greasy all the time. This was actually one of my drop spots before the iceberg ended up collapsing, was the broken house in between Viking, that little overlook, because there's mushrooms there, 3 potential chest spawns, tons and tons of brick, a decent amount of metal, and then you can rotate side of map. But now, ever since the iceberg ended up coming through, makes it a little more difficult. But Nocturno's another player we've seen before rolling through on the Elam. Saw him on the leaderboard as well, but he burned through a number of games early. So that's what can happen when you play as aggro as possible. Sometimes it works out, other times, you know, you run into a couple of those quote-unquote 50-50 fights where it could go other way. The other player hits an insane flick, and if you get enough of those and it's just not your day, it can come back to bite you. But right now, looking like he's rolling through this one.
I'm curious to see where he's going to decide
That's
to
such a sick
land.
glider.
It seriously is, but dude, he draws so much attention. That's why we saw shots already come through. So he's going to pay for that just a little bit, but it's okay still at a 164 effective health, but he's still rolling around in. You see someone trying to challenge, and he's just going to keep him away, right? He doesn't even need to necessarily eliminate them. He just needs to make sure he's the guy on top and that highest ground tarp. 15 players. So again, another set of placement points come through. He drops down on the box, and that player goes down. That's another one. And a follow-up there, that's white health. So that player is, I believe, eliminated. They're gone. He's going to keep on this onslaught. He sees someone. They've got him in the sight. This is one of your favorite skins as well, Sundown. Is he going to do you dirty like this? I believe that is a yes.
Seg going down there. Nocturno's showing the pressure here. Now, while his Elam counter is not updating, we've seen him get 3 or 4 on there, so he's getting into the double digits now, able to hit another great shot there, looking for the ramp edit, does get the double edit down, but the player was ready. However, Matt's Quartz wasn't ready for him to challenge again. He figured like, oh yeah, just backed him off a little bit, I'll be good. No, Nocturno's doesn't know the definition of the word stop. He's all about going forward, trying to find whatever he can, wherever he can, as we get closer to the top 5.
This is crazy. I believe he's one of the most hyper-aggressive players I think I've ever seen. But man, does he make it work in his favor. Just like you said, he's catching players off guard. In most situations, you crack a player and you think they're going to back off. I have a moment to just think about what I need to do next. Nocturnos is like, oh, you hit me? I'm going to hit you right back, and I'm going to make sure you're eliminated. A nice 67 there on that player. And look, he wants more. He's trying to hunt this player down. And that's it. Hunter gets demolished. Nocturnos is, just like you said, he doesn't know when to stop.
No, fantastic double edit right there in order to retake it. And you look now how, because the zone rotated back across him, Thomas Asada going down as well. Nocturno's straight up eliminating the rest of the lobby into the top 5. He says, I want the placement points. I want the victory route. I want everything. He's not stopping. Like I said, some people talk about W King. Some people talk about holding forward. He's doing all of it right here. He wants to find everyone he can, rifting up just so he can go challenge this player and say, hey, let's go to the sky. Straight up build battle, 1v1. Meet me in creative, meet me in the playground. I'll show you what I got. Because he's putting on a clinic. Doesn't matter, takes the high ground with no builds, and then goes and finds the player. Nocturnos, I know it didn't update, but that was something like a 16 elimination match coming out of him here. No wonder he was able to jump up the leaderboard so effectively.
Absolutely impressive performance. But for now, we're going to send it over to Dr. Lupa and Bala to give us the rundown.
The players from Brazil on fire. I commend both of you for being able to keep up with everything that happened there. Now, actually, Bala, we had an opportunity earlier when we were casting. We talked about watching through some of these players' replays and the speed at which they play. Sometimes you have to take a second and slow it down. You might be the one man I know that can keep up with everything that's happening. If you could, please take us through some of the action.
Yeah, man, we just saw some insane games. And the first guy, World Cup, I don't know who this is, he changed his name or something like that, but he's absolutely destroying. Taking that baller out and then forcing that player in an uncomfortable position, and then he knows the position that this guy is in right now. Forcing him out with that RPG, he stays in the zone, and he's going to pick up that victory royale. Pretty solid here, but we all know the best feeling in this game, or one of the best feelings, is those hand cannon shots. Boom! Fur goes down. Demoli takes that one. And then Halma on the side of zone. This is also one of the best feelings when you're in end game and getting all these eliminations, those headshots with the pump shotgun, and then switching quickly over to that compact SMG as well. solid play on the edge of zone, and I love to see those clips. Those Twitter clips, keep posting them, man. I love it. Those are my favorite things to watch.
The on-the-spot gatekeeping, like right at the edge of the zone, might be some of the most intense Fortnite that we see from time to time. We've seen it already multiple times today. Ball and I had a chance to watch some earlier. Every single time we've cut to a game, I feel like you see it constantly. The awareness level is through the roof. But before we get too much more of that, I guarantee you we've got more games coming up. Don't worry. NA East, NA West, and everybody else that you haven't seen just yet. They'll be here in just a minute. But before we go too much further, we got a break. We're going to throw to that. Don't go anywhere. I'll know if you leave.
Jump on and drop in. It's time to kick off the Fortnite World Cup competition. From April 13th to June 16th, we'll be running Fortnite World Cup Online Opens, where you can qualify to compete for your chance at a piece of the $30 million prize pool. But how will these work, you ask? Each week will alternate back and forth between solos and duos competition, with players qualifying from each server region in Oceania, Asia, Europe, Brazil, NA East, and NA West. To find specifics for your server region, go to Fortnite.com/World Cup. To play in the online opens, you'll need to compete in the new Arena mode, an always-on form of competition where players can rank up tiers and leagues. It all starts in the Open League, and when players earn 125 points, they'll advance into Contenders League. After that, you'll need to build your way up to 300 points to unlock Champion League, where the Saturday online open players will be chosen. Then, we'll take the top 3,000 solo players or 1,500 duos from that Saturday's semifinals and advance them to the Sunday finals. Each Sunday, 20 players will rise to the top and qualify to join us in New York for the Fortnite World Cup Finals. Buckle up, because we're officially on the road to the Fortnite World Cup Finals.
What's up, Fortnite fam? Zeke here recapping Week 2 of the Fortnite World Cup Online Open Duos qualifiers. First up in Oceania, Cover H and MF Twiz were able to overtake the duo of Jam Zoret and Jam Geese to be the first duo team to qualify for the Fortnite World Cup final in New York City. Despite playing from behind after the first 6 matches, Cover H and Twiz were able to roll off huge games at the end, earning them the top spot. Shattering expectations from Scallywag Cup, Lux Cup, and the Fortnite World Cup warm-up, there was a new name on top of the Asia leaderboards when the competition ended. CR Bell and Scarlet #1 from Japan were able to secure the only qualifying spot out of this region. Their balanced approach of high eliminations, but also chasing high placements, let them edge out the rest of the competition. Their final match earned them 14 points, putting them in first place with a 3-point lead. Europe proved to be a battleground for its 4 qualifying spots. Requiring 58 points in the semifinal to even compete on Sunday, those top 4 places would be difficult to obtain. In the end, Energy's Benji Fishy and Mr. Savage M took the top spot, with familiar names like Secret Mongrel, Atlantis Metro, E11 Stompy, and E11 Tachinkin just behind them in 2nd and 3rd place. Lootboy Scram and Mexi took the final spot, pushing out Solary's Airwalks and Nikov in the very last match with a 20-point performance. Stompy and Benji Fishy also became the first 2 players in Fortnite history to qualify for both the solo and duos competition at the Fortnite World Cup final. Over in Brazil, Code W7M Nix continued to prove he is one of the players to watch coming out of South America. After a 2nd place finish last week, he and his duo of W7M's PF Zin were able to secure the only duo qualifying spot. Their 36 combined points in their 5th and 6th games gave them an insurmountable lead and let them ride out the rest of the finals in first place. The NA East leaderboard was constantly changing over the course of the entire session. Familiar names were seen at the top for a long stretch, but in the end, the 3 spots were earned by some relatively new faces at the top of the leaderboard. OT Spades and Wolfgang Krims were able to take the #1 spot with 90 points, ending with an incredible 14 points in the final match. The Misfits duo of Clicks and Skeptic were also able to put up a couple of huge matches at the end, securing them the 2nd spot at 87 points. Envy's Linane, who just missed qualifying for solos last week, and LG's Tyler 15 were also able to earn 87 points, putting them 1 point ahead of 4th place and booking their trip to the final. The last region of the day had 6 different teams vying for the single qualifying spot. Ultimately, Arkham 1X and Bloom Falconer were able to hold off a couple of last-minute surging teams. The duo had only played together for 3 days before the event, but were able to use their consistent performance to earn 99 points and be the 11th duo to qualify for the Fortnite World Cup final. Congratulations to those who have qualified, but don't forget there's still more Fortnite competition on the horizon. Fortnite fam? It's great that you guys are back and joining us for week 3 of the Fortnite World Cup Online Open. You know me, I'm Zeke, and of course we are joined here by this incredible looking man, Sundown, with the hair that I wish I had and never will. But you know what? Welcome. It's great to have you guys back. If you're just tuning in, welcome. Hope you've had an incredible Saturday. We'll get you guys up to speed as to things are going. Really quickly, though, let's talk about the standings that have just wrapped up, just started, rather, in NA East. Sundown, what you got?
And I mean, taking a look here, so one important thing to note, which we added here, is this games remaining column. So everyone during these windows, you get 3 hours or 10 total matches, so we wanted to make sure you had that context. But right now, you have Imgen sitting at the top, 37 points, 1 victory royale. Dubs, though, everyone's talked about him, the player who ended up qualifying first out of NA East during the solos, sitting at 36. But, I mean, spread from 1st to 10th right now, 5 points, 32 to 37. So tons to battle it out for. And again, just a reminder, this is only the semifinals, so top 3,000 will be advancing to play for tomorrow, where on NA East, this top 6 spots will all go through to the final in New York City on July 26th to the 28th.
That's right. Thank you so much, Sundown. Now let's go ahead and talk about everything else for those of you that need a refresher, starting with the schedule of the show. So just like we talked about, we're going to be hopping into NA East here in just a moment. Oceania and Asia wrapped up way early in the morning. Europe, we caught the tail end of. It's caught some of Brazil as well. And now it's time for East. Then finally, we'll end on West. We'll talk about the format coming up next. Top 25 will get you 3 points. At top 15, you get an additional 2 points for a total of 5. Top 5 is an additional 2 points for a total of 7. And then finally, that victory out is worth an additional 3 points. So 10 total points on the board as far as placement goes, with each elim worth 1 point. Now, guys, don't forget $1 million every week for 10 weeks. I don't know what the heck's going on, but that's a lot of money. It's absolutely insane. Let's not forget about the qualifying spots as well. Sundown kind of talked about it. We have 8 coming out of Europe, 6 in NA East, 2 in West, Asia, and Brazil. And finally, Oceania has a spot as well. You know, we have a ton of games to get into, and I believe we're going to need a set of casters to help us out with this. But before we do that, don't forget to use that hashtag Fortnite World Cup. And I actually have a question for you. How are you watching the broadcast? Are you watching us? Are you watching a person on Twitch? Is it on YouTube? Where are you watching? Send us a picture of it with that hashtag. Now, as I talked about, we need some casters. So we're going to start with Dr. Lupo. Dr. Lupo, why don't you come on out here, my friend? You want to introduce the second caster, is that correct?
Indeed, I do. My name is Dr. Lupo, and joining me today will be the only man on Twitch I know that is thicker than an entire stack of chicken parmesans. Courage, JD. How you feeling, bud? You look like you just got done with some cardio.
Good, I did. That cardio was those 6 steps to get out on the stage. Ben, you look great in a dark bomber jacket. I can see why Sam married you. It is time for Section 2 of today, North America East, the place I was born and raised, the place where we are not, because we're on the west side of the United States. The action is ready. The games are ready. Dr. Lupo, the top 3,000 qualify. Are you ready?
They're all just lucky that you and I are not playing, Jack.
That's true.
Let's show them why.
Let's go ahead and get into the action. NA East starts right now. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a look at 4 different games on your screen. Ben, if you can, for the people at home, can you name some notable people to be watching out for today?
Some notable. The list is so ridiculously long, Jack. I honestly don't even know where to start. But on your screen right now, Cease laying fire down 8 eliminations in this game, 12 points total when we jump in here on NA East, and it does not surprise me in the slightest to see him absolutely slaying out 230-ish medium ammo, 123 shotgun shells, a boogie, 4 minis, and a smile on his face, honestly, I'm sure at this point.
Yeah.
Because this game is going exceedingly well.
Well, see, someone was already qualified from the solos section of things, an absolute beast of a player, you see. 10 eliminations so far, 14 total points determined up to this point. As he's continued to swing around, only 6 players from North America East will wind up qualifying tomorrow. So top 3,000 make it. Of those 3,000, 6 make it to the Fortnite World Cup Finals. If that doesn't show you the level of prestige that will wind up making it to that glorious major event, and I don't know what will. Cease did have Rome's landed just on top of him. Rome's didn't seem to challenge Cease, probably based off the fact that Rome's right now very, very weak, under 100 HP.
You mentioned for NA East there are only 6 positions. Consider this. From all the previous events that you and I have had the opportunity to cast, all the events that we've watched, there are so many notable players. People have to realize, oh, Rome's just paid the price for that.
Sorry to hear that. Did you see what Cease just did? Cease edited down his walls to drop Rome's down. As Rome's went to fall, he built a pyramid on himself to not only, 1, block the ability to ramp right there, but 2, shield himself from the damage that the player could give while dropping down. Then edited out, went for the elim. Beautiful stuff. Go ahead.
Literally outthinking everybody along the way. As I was saying, especially let's focus on just solos. Players get 5 weeks to attempt to qualify for the World Cup Fortnite solo section. So you have a number of notable names that will obviously make it in. Showing exactly why they're already qualified.
Yes.
That being said, you're going to have a lot of players that we've watched multiple times just not make it. And that can be kind of punishing to think about. Oh, my goodness. One that gets lasered out of midair. He's just kind of in a shooting gallery here as players are trying to rotate in, not really building too much. His shots are already going to clearly come out from Cease there. The redeploy floating in. Still a ton of medium ammunition, ton of shotgun shells, and a player stuck out in the zone. You hate to see it, but that's yet another one. 14 elims. Cease, they're kids, man. Come on. Yeah, give them a break, dude.
This is actually absurd right now from Cease, and I think a reason why he's able to play on that late game rotation with redeploy a little bit more is due to the fact that there was only 10 players remaining when that zone began to move. Now down to 8. We see typically on Sundays when the talent's a little bit more, stacked towards the top of these games, we'll still have 20 to 30 players left in this zone. Instead with only 10, Cease winds up having a much better understanding of where exactly all the remaining players are in the field and can play based off that, doing a brilliant job to this point.
A very clever name here from Paradox. 2 eliminations, 10 points total up to this point. Not a whole lot of HP and shield, though. Going to try and rotate in and stay ahead of the circle. It is right there. There are multiple players floating in. A buffet of potential eliminations. That siphon would be very big at this moment. Not enough time to pop that med kit. Taking some damage to the Storm, a little slow in the rotation, dropping into the box, maybe catching themselves right there. That's not it yet, but it's getting real close.
No mats.
You have to stay right ahead of this. Opportunity to farm the tree. Rotation straight west. Rocks caught underneath Paradox, gets the siphon. 12 shield and 65 HP, feels a little better than just a second ago. In fact, that siphon saved Paradox from being eliminated in that moment, but down to 7 HP, and the med kit probably not going to go off. Paradox has to push forward. The Storm applying pressure right behind them.
Here are our final players. There is one all the way up top still. Cease trying to lay down the fire. 95 health in total. Now 145, now 195. As Cease doesn't miss once. 16 eliminations so far. 50 materials remaining, or at least builds remaining. A little bit better than 50 total materials. It's Blue Thunder on the high ground. Paradox on the low ground. Our healthiest player right now, Cease. Well, just eliminated the one. 17 eliminations to this point. Blue Thunder dropping on down. Cease with 200 HP. Can he wind up finishing this monstrous performance, which would be an 18-point game if he gets this last elim?
18 eliminations, the 10 from placement.
Sorry,
the shot.
28-point game.
It's okay. A lot of insanity here. Cease getting multiple tags. The rotation up, trying to gain the high ground here. Vying for it, but the player all the way at the top, Blue Thunder 000, pops those minis, and probably the worst timing possible. You left the left side exposed, and Cease got the little peek shot.
Cease, 18 elims, victory royale, 28 points in one game.
You asked for names to watch for, people to look at. I mean, there's a reason he's already through.
Yeah, I mean, Cease at this point just playing this for practice, but apparently practice for him is just beating up on all the kids trying to have their dreams come true.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough day at home for somebody.
He's like the guy who goes like, Disney in the the water gun game where you have to like keep the water, focus on that one point to win the toy.
Yes.
He just like sits there all day and just wins it over and over, and kids leave crying like what happened to me when I went to Disney World that one time. Thanks, Jerry.
Jack, this is an extremely detailed story. I have a feeling
still not over it.
Talk about this later, and I'm sure your mother will give you a nice hug for that. I'm sorry. It's okay, Jack. It's okay, buddy.
Hopefully you're watching this, Mom. I hope you're proud of me. It's right now 33 remaining in this one. See, a little bit more of a stacked lobby. It's fair to say. Grove, 7 elims to this point in his first game. Now 8. Quick little beam right there with that epic silenced or suppressed assault rifle. Heavy sniper in the back pocket as well. Oh,
Going for it, gonna get it,
okay.
maybe. Nope, but 64 shield, the follow-up there. Grove picks up the 9th elimination. There's a buffet of goodies, actually. The loot that popped out there, I believe I saw a rift and a launch pad outside in the storm now. It's too bad nobody's nearby to pick that up. A large field of players down below as Grove hanging out up top. Doesn't have to do a whole lot. Remy get the rocket. Getting pressure applied, though. That wall going down, swapping to metal. 51 builds here. 2 rockets remaining. That little corner right there is such a sneaky peek because you can take shots through it at just the right position, and there is a player directly next to Remy Kid that if they rotate out, you better believe there's going to be shots. Lo and behold, here it might happen.
Here goes the zone in the 6th storm. Ben, we're in the end game now as the zone begins to move. A beautiful shot right there with the RPG. First elimination so far of today's events. Fury, see the bottom left corner of your screen, getting pressured by the assault rifle. His baller now gone. Remy Kid continuing to use this RPG, but unfortunately, Ben, look at that. 0 shots left in it. All down to his assault rifle and shotgun play now.
Pushing down behind, following in behind these players that may not be aware. Remy Kid taking the lead there. Pushing down underneath. Fury takes a shotgun shot. Remy trying to build up. Catches himself under a ramp. A little bit of a misbuild there, but only 1 elim. Remy looking for a second right now. No more rockets left. Finds a second on Fury as the rotation continues. Build up and get ahead of this. You do not want to take too much damage out in the storm. Players are going to be watching for you rotating in. I don't know if you noticed that. There's a player in there with the serial number of his Xbox controller after user. I'm not sure who that is, but I commend them for the username.
I think it might be his creator code. Imagine. Use code R/137. Be the worst code ever. But, just as many uses as my code, which is 2. So now we're back on to Remy Kid here. 5 eliminations so far. Does get cracked from behind in bed. Late game. Exactly. As he does get cut down, I was going to say, late game, when you hear that sound of the shield burst, because there's that unique sound that plays when the shield is destroyed, that is like, it's like all the players remaining just turn towards it and look right wherever that is to begin to beam the player. Does get cut down there in the same box as Grove. We caught on with him at 7 elims, now at 11, 16 points this first game so far. Ruin actually still a baller down low, but will hit the rift. That was provided because we are going up the side of a mountain bed, and typically that means a lot of awkward builds for people trying to get the height they need.
Grove getting a big hit on Nanolite. Nanolite, somebody, a name we've seen so many times in these matches.
That was actually really clean from Grove. Well done.
90 builds left. Looks for the edit shot underneath, see if he can catch a player rotating, and like clockwork, does indeed. Grove picks up the 12th elim. 1 tick of the storm there. Only, if this is everybody left, there's 4 players left. And that's it.
Yep.
Ruin, the top down on everybody. Kayshawn's directly underneath. Boxes out Ruin just before the drop-in occurs. Grove, bottom middle there, and Nanolite, the low ground warrior. Grove, 12 eliminations. Starting to make this rotation, sticking with the storm and trying to get a bead from above. You see the quick edits and watching the movement. Goes for the shot. I don't know if you noticed that. There was a heavy snipe shot initially, but follow through for the 210. Epic pump action damage. The headshot there, very key. 210s, anybody's out of the game, and Grove picks up the siphon from that.
And I love that play from Grove. What you saw was the 2 players up top still fighting, so he ran further into this zone and stopped and started his build to be able to have enough time to pop one of these minis. Now, though, being targeted by both remaining players, Grove down to just 78 HP again. That shield popped. That means it's all time for an all-out assault. Thankfully for Grove, his shotgun hasn't missed. Another elimination there. Now 14 up to this point in this game. Can he close it on out with a 15 elimination performance? Ruin just 1 level above. Going to have to make some sort of play. Grove now dropping all the way down. Grove turning, spraying, looking for the shot. Hasn't hit it yet. Heavy snipe to drop down the shotgun shell. The spray, swap, elimination. Grove, 15 eliminations. The victory royale. And you see right there, 1 game, 25 points.
A big move for Grove. You realize with that game already under his belt, based on what we've seen from previous regions, he's potentially halfway to qualifying for tomorrow. Even then, it's impressive how many points these players are putting up. top 3,000 make it to the Sunday round, and the number of players that qualify at that point is so low. And actually, it's funny, you see the left side of the screen cutting away. I would not be surprised if we see Grove again at some point of the course of the NA East matches today, putting on an excellent show. So
listen, if you've ever competed in one of these type of events for competitive Fortnite, you've talked to friends midway through it or had a duo teammate, you know, one very common thing that a lot of people repeat is, hey, we just need one pop-off game. We just need one pop-off game. Where it's like, hey, we get that one monster performance, we get our points up real quick, that's going to be enough as we see the laser come in from Jen, who's already at 9 eliminations, still with 25 players left. But that one pop-off game is literally enough to basically qualify you for the next day of competition. Now, all Grove needs to do is just place top 25 a few more times and maybe get a couple more limbs and he's in.
I have a feeling, too, on top of that, you have players that's all big pressure relief, too. Jen picking up a number there. But the pressure to perform goes way, way down once you get that one game, because you know you've already made that substantial progress off the one. And after that, it's all about just a couple pickup points. Tomorrow is the day where you have to go all out every single time if you want to make your way to New York City.
100%. As Jen is somehow alive after being focused by 3 different players. We saw him go on a tear, getting 4 straight elims, but then the spray came in from Eska as well as Logic up top on the high ground. Dropped them down to under 50 HP, thankfully able to pop the minis and big shield back up to over 100 shields. And we'll live to see another day. The question now is, where's the zone? And it's actually going back towards Jen. So Jen, you're going to see, is this going to build on up and begin to look for the spray on the enemies? There's one right there, and I can tell you right now, Ben, Jen has a smile on their face right now when playing this because they are about to farm this lobby. 1 elimination so far in this rotation, putting them up to 12 elims in this first game. Building on up is Jen, trying to match the build height of this enemy nearby. Just a few layers behind the spray again, lasering, no more shields left. Eska, who was the one putting pressure on Jen earlier, now the tables have turned. Jen, brilliant pyramid, drops the player who was on the high ground who he shot earlier. Knowing to not, underestimate any of these opponents. Now 1 box away, the baller comes in, breaks down one of these walls. Jen gonna look for the drop down, doesn't actually get it as of yet. And Jen can play a little bit more risky building this high ground, Lupo, because guess what? Jen's got redeploy. So if worse comes to worse, Jen drops down, hits the redeploy, and hopes just no one sprays him out of the air.
Doesn't have to be nervous at this point. 50 seconds on this storm rotation. Curious if Jen realizes
back up the mountain,
rotating underneath. They're going back up over the mountain. Anthony and Iconic down below, bottom of your screen stacked in a 1x1 on top of each other. A northwest push, and this mountain is a steep one. Surprised that baller did not get lasered down, went for the swap and did not get it in time. Jumping up, those little maneuvers. I don't know if you caught that or not, Jack, but that was it was the jump angle to immediately placing the floor to to catch halfway through the jump. That way they can rotate up a floor without, oh my gosh.
Has Jen missed? Has Jen missed an AR shot?
Players are putting themselves out in front like it's nothing. Just going for every shot. An easy push into this box here. Gets yet another one. Picks up the 15th elimination. 31 points total and a ton of build left. Still has the redeploy. Has the high ground minus the 1 player that's rotating around.
It's going back up the mountain again.
You've got to be kidding me.
And Jen, every time, there's a moment of lull is taking in exactly where these other players are around them. Jen's still trying to build for height. 4 players in total remaining. Decides the lesser 2 evils here is to just break down this build and but it's already been connected. Jen now realizing that might have been a mistake unless some insane shots are hit. Nope, Jen will decide it's time to kind of reset for a moment. Maybe can build up further and pop the big shield. I think that's exactly what's going to happen. Yep, smart play by Jen to move forward, pop this big shield. Now at 142 HP, doesn't actually get to finish it. But oh my gosh, what a flick by Jen. 16 eliminations now. Apparently, our coverage of North America East is like which player can drop the most elims and set the record for the most points in one first game we cover. 3 players left. Logic still in the baller, now finally gets that cut down. Donut 1 floor below. Logic 0 limbs so far because he spent the whole time roly-polying around. He's on height for the moment. Beginning to peter on down on these enemies. One slides down the side of this mountain and Logic realizes, I've got to match this height of this build or else I will fall to my death. Good friends. Donut with the spray, Jen on the low ground with the spray. Jen trying to farm these 2. There's one. Logic under 120 health. They're in the same box. Jen, trap elimination, 18 elims, 28 points and 90s coming on in.
Sometimes, Jack, you just got to go ahead and crank them as hard as you can. That's multiple 28-point games we've seen.
A 25er.
I can't believe some of the heads-up play from these players. There's a reason that they're maintaining on top. And look who are already. I was literally talking about heads-up play from players we've seen before, and we're jumping right back in with Cease, Jack.
Yeah. And obviously Cease, we know, has qualified already back in week 1 of solos, but now heading back into week 3, continuing to remain consistent. And for me, if I'm going to go out and give a little bit of a lecture here, consistency in competitive VR games is one of the toughest things to do across all different competitive esport titles. Ghost Bizzle, for me, is the most, consistent player in the world that we've seen in the history of competitive Fortnite. Heck, he's the highest earning player of all time as well for a reason. But no matter what, it always seems like he's in the top 10. He's already qualified for solos as well. Cease trying to throw his name into the hat as well. Currently set up at the top of this build. Trying to look down at where Psycho is exactly. Hasn't spotted anything yet.
6 elims, 40 points total as we're jumping into this one.
23 blind time.
It might actually be.
Oh my goodness.
Relatively risky.
No.
If so,
oh my gosh!
Free baller. Look at the loadout, the kit, the free kit, Jack. Zipline, headshot, the 375. Just so everybody at home understands, Jack's face right now is one of absolute amazement.
Oh my goodness. Cease now continuing to be the Mad Titan here up top as he drops the Ethereal Titan down low. 8 eliminations for Cease, max materials, and the zone going back his way. When I mentioned this, the player last game was about to farm the lobby, I meant Cease this game.
Now you got to be careful because
Kaizui
and Cloud, multiple players we've had our eyes on from previous rounds. Kaizui and Cloud are teammates in duos, and they're in here in the same game right now in solos. Same match as Cease too, which means this lobby, you said it before, some of these lobbies are absolutely ridiculous. Pushing in the box, Kaizui is starting dominance. You have the second elimination there.
And Kaizui, if I'm not mistaken, placed, what was it? It was either first in the duo week or first in the solo week last time in the semifinals. Didn't actually qualify yet, but had a monstrous performance on the semifinal day of one of these weeks so far. We'll keep an eye out for Kaizui.
Definitely a player that has what it takes to qualify.
Yes, maybe you've seen Kaizui at previous event have pop-off moments. Rift being used right on the edge of that zone, as you'd expect. Nitto, 14 grenade launcher shots. This is one where you really hope to land at the far side of the zone, get set up, and then kind of launch grenades back at everyone's still trying to rotate on over.
And that's exactly what it looks like.
Yep, he's going low quick.
He knows the ballers are not necessarily going to be a threat. There's a chance somebody might jump out if they know that he's potentially missing shield. But right now, a med kit, not something he's going to use for the 6 HP.
Nope.
He's going to go for the Siphon here as he's trying to get those peak shots as players are rotating in. This maneuver paying off. Tuxie goes down.
And not getting greedy.
Yeah,
putting down those shots and then immediately closing the hole back up and realizing, hey, I got my chance. Even if the player's close, it's like, if I keep focusing here, one of these other remaining 20 players could try to seek vengeance on me. Cease on the high ground. TSM Cloud a few levels below. Kaizui even lower below that. Cease still with this one boogie bomb in hand. When will that be used to try to stop one of these ballers? And with so many people in rifts and no one challenging the high ground, Cease realizes the best play now is to just spray out up, drop a poison trap down, in hopes that maybe someone will land on it. And wow, there's the beam onto the player below. That was over 120 damage real quick, and it looks like, hey, this is the key that opens all doors. Heavy sniper combo, TSM Cloud, have a good Q, buddy.
9 elims, 10 players remaining. With Cloud out, the competition slowly starting to narrow down here. Blasian, Nitto, Cease, as you're rotating down to the bottom, utilizing that baller. I would expect before too long, Jack, you're going to see the Boogie push for the push-in. Absolutely ridiculous awareness. Knows Owl is hiding behind his own pyramid in the box. Hits it in the back corner to line of sight both the shot and the Boogie effect does hit Owl. Pushes in an easy 200-plus pump shot.
Cease is scary, man. Cease is a scary player.
Multiple players right in front. The utility of the heavy snipe showing right there as he does get basically a free wall replace. Cease does take a shot there down to 110, 108, something like that. trying to move ahead. Kaizui right at the edge of the circle, and it's going to apply too much pressure. Not going to be able to get too many heals off as he's taking ticks from the Storm here. Kaizui, another all-star player, and pressure from the Storm gets everybody the same way. He's going to have to try and stay ahead just barely. A chance maybe to get a heal off. 4 bandages. All he's got room for is 1 more.
That's
Pop
it
it
for
right
Bills.
now if no one else is going to push. Look for minis out in the Storm. Got to make a move for it. Does grab them. 5 of them. Is it worth it to take the damage from the Storm?
He also went to go try to grab that metal in hopes that it would be enough to maybe let him be able to build it. Oh no! And hits the rift! This could be game-saving for Kaizui. 5 eliminations so far in this game, trying to drop down and find an exact level where he can go. 26 total walls can be built. Kaizui going on in, now popping these minis. What looked like an impossible game to win, Dr. Lupo has completely turned around with 1 well-placed pump shot. How about a second? Down goes Panito. There's no way he can pick up that big shield and use it in this time. He knows this. Spray coming in from this legendary assault rifle. 4 players in total. Cease, his own teammate, now gets cut down. Kaizui raining terror on these final players. Another one drops down to challenge. Kaizui pumps him. Now 1 final player. Can Kaizui make this happen from what seemed like an impossible game? Now a 1 versus 1. Kaizui spraying out the weak point in this build. Damperson having to run into the Storm to build back out. He's hiding behind the tree. Shot comes in. Player weak. Player dead. Kaizui, 7 limbs and the victory royale.
That match started as if it was Cease's to win, the star of the show, potentially yet again. But Kaizui says, I'm on this team as well. An excellent pickup and security. What a crazy set of heads-up plays right at the very last second.
It all changed with that 1 pump shot, and you know what? Props to him for realizing, let me run into the stone, risk it, go for these minis. It's plays like that that can make all the difference in the end.
On top of that, the opponent's rift potentially put him in a position.
Yeah.
That's a move that you'll never expect either. There's no way in that moment he says, oh, right now I'm going to get rifted by my opponent. Easy clap, dude.
Ben, to be honest, I don't know if Alex is in our ear talking, but I didn't hear anything, but I do see Zeke.
It's true.
And Sundown over there. Gentlemen, take it away.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. We have our own little special Loot Llama here with us. What an awesome set of games. Courage Loot, thank you guys for being incredible. I'm here with Sundown. We're going to be breaking down some cool things for you. So, Sundown, what do you have on deck?
So, Lupo and Courage referred to it. We're going to take a look at honestly some of the most high elimination victory royales we've seen to date. And we're going to jump in first with Cease for just a mind of, this is a player who has already qualified for the Fortnite World Cup final. This is what their gameplay looks like. If you want to end up on that stage in New York City, you have to be able to execute in situations like this. Not only being able to find rifle shots in the side, but working around in these 1x1s, constantly editing, re-editing, looking for shots on players as they rotate back in a way, and being ready to fight in these close quarter situations. We talk about the backside of the Storm rotation all the time. If you're prepared to fight in your opponent's art, you can take advantage of that. Cease, 110% doing it here. Taking out Paradox on the Wii U, not going to be effective there, and then getting Blue Thunder to take the 18 Elim victory out. But Cease was just the start. He wasn't the only player to be flexing his skills. Grove did the exact same thing. And you're starting to see a trend with a lot of these players. The way they're able to maintain their high ground, look for rotational shots, and then finish out the plays. Once they do get into an engagement, they're making sure they hit their shots, either being extremely patient, like Grove was there to line it up, or trusting their reactions, trusting all of the practice, all the aim training and stuff they do to hit the quick flick shots right there, picking up his 12th Elim. And again, Courage talked about it, the key that opens all doors, Nanolite getting opened up and exposed there by Grove. And he just kept going the entire time from the low ground, not being dissuaded, and continually pressuring these opponents, looking to take the engagements. But again, we think of, 15 Elim victory out, pretty impressive. I'm Jen, the current leader on the NA East leaderboards, showing that these rifling skills are really what allows you to put up those high elimination matches. We talked about it a little bit when covering the Asia section as well. The key for these early matches, when matched against quote-unquote lower point opponents, when you're going through, you need to be playing aggressive. The victory out isn't enough. You have to capitalize on those elimination points. And I mean, Jen showing exactly how to do it, making sure he's constantly checking the side of the storm and then closing out and taking the engagements away. You see him there using the redeploy to close space towards where a lot of players were trying to rotate away. And then every time he is safe, he's one by one-ing himself up, covering aside, and then checking his rifle angles, just like he does here. Again, it seems like it's super easy, and honestly, this is a little quote-unquote lucky, but you make your own luck in this situation. When you're on the high ground, when you're looking at the storm, yes, a player isn't always going to be running through low HP, but if they are, you have to be in position to capitalize it. And if you're constantly putting yourselves in those positions and ready to fight, you'll be able to take advantage of it, just as you saw Jen there, taking it away with a great 180 flick. And again, not even worried about it. Tracks the player off the box and puts it down. And we talked about wanting to get inside the mind of the player who's already qualified. Look at that. That's what it takes sometimes, giving that player the most vicious of head cuts, riding the zip line and hitting him with that heavy sniper headshot. Cease, you are an animal in the best of ways.
Dude, absolutely disgusting performance coming out of Cease. You'll love to see it. Now, we do have the current standings as they are, so we'll take a look at those together. Right there at the top, Bolt Rokane there with 50 points. Right behind him is Cease with the 48. Dubs FN up in third with 45. I love this 2 games remaining as well, Sundown, because this gives us really good insight as to where people are.
And also, just one thing to point out here, Rokane's 3 for 3 on victory royales. He has 7 matches remaining.
All right.
3 victories coming out from there, and then also sitting on 20 elims in those 3 matches. So brilliant out from him. You also have a lot of familiar faces on here. Dubs, who has already qualified as well. So 2 qualifiers up here, 3 qualifiers up here, in fact, with Bugga up there inside the top 6 as well. So great consistency coming out from them. But just a reminder, top 3,000 advance to tomorrow, and tomorrow is where you really make the bread. The top 6 spots there will be for qualifiers, and they're fighting for their piece of that $1 million prize pool.
Thank you so much, Sundown. Guys, NAs has so much raw talent. I cannot wait to get back into games. So let's send it back over to Courage and Lupo to see us through more.
Wow, thank you so much, gentlemen. You know, Ben, the one thing that stands out to me was, you know, what was mentioned by Sundown was really the moment in there where he said maybe some of the newer to competitive players, the people that might not be at the peak of the skill triangle. Try to stay nice. What I mean by that is this. The skill gap is immense in Fortnite Battle Royale. Right there, just in that one screen of the probably millions competing across this weekend, you see 3 players already who have qualified from week 1 of solos sitting in the top 10 again. Those are the players at the top of our skill ceiling right now.
Now, you have to keep in mind, too, that even though they've already qualified, they can continue to play in these. Rokane actually are #1 on the board, 100% win rate up to this point, which is absolutely ridiculous. I believe when we look at the leaderboard, 50 points thus far, which means I bet you can guess how this game is going to play out. Just saying. It's actually an excellent opportunity to see how a player like this, who's maintained 3 games played and 3 victory royales, we want to see exactly how these games are playing out. And Mars apparently not having their headphones on, something's going on there, because that quick edit from above, Rokane catches the 200-plus pump shot and a free baller to go. What an excellent one. It's a loot exchange.
3 weapon upgrades. Yeah, literally 3 weapon upgrades. Max it back out on minis, max materials. You can't really ask for much more if you're Rokane. And right now it looks like Rokane taking a look at how many mats are left down low. Just keep in mind, you can always go back and grab more if needed.
Position here, building.
Ninja on the high ground.
Not sure who that is. Colin Frags on your screen as well. Chris all the way up top. I'm just kidding. I know who Ninja is. On the right side of your screen, just a quick reminder. The points that you earn for both placement and eliminations. 25, 15, top 5 in the Victory Royale there. Plus each elim is an individual point. Very key to remember that. Using that heavy snipe as a utility to take the tree out. Tree blocking visibility says, Chris says, I don't want that in the way. I need to be able to beam these players while they make moves. Maybe look at, I was going to say, look for the heavy snipe shot through that window edit. At this point, Chris might be just biding their time until an opportunity for another snipe comes out here. Oh yeah, come on. You know you want to hit this.
How about that one? There goes.
You know what? Maybe it wasn't the player I thought it was going to be, but
it was
not
someone.
bad about it, Jack. An excellent shot there, just waiting for players to leave themselves exposed. A little too much gargoyling. Ninja down underneath the corner, edit out there. The heavy snipe out as well. Get an opportunity to watch some of Ninja's gameplay directly here. 150 total HP, 120-ish builds as they start to count down. Catches a player on rotation. The quick edit into the stairs. Tries to block him out. Gets the 190 as Blue goes down and feeds a free 50 HP back to Ninja. The push available here moving into the storm. Got to look out for that tree. One of those things it's going to block movement, especially upward build. Got to be very careful if you decide to start to try and climb while it is in your way. Lazy Lagoon. This is a massive cliff right here too.
Yep.
Here we go. Oh! Taking a book out of Tim the Tap Man.
Or mine.
Or yours.
Or Myth.
Or Myth. Or me.
Or you. Marcel.
Pretty much anybody that we play with.
Thankfully for Ninja, still wildly more successful than both of us will ever be combined. So he could go ahead and live with himself on that and still qualify for tomorrow.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's Ghost Assault playing just underneath this dock. We saw Ghost Assault is in our top 10 as well, so a pretty stacked lobby to be in between having Rocane, Assault now here, using as little materials as possible, and again, the sign of a great player, knowing none of these ballers can really shoot him from being inside one of them, those cars. And wait, did he just get the high ground for free?
He might have, unless there's potentially someone all the way up top and rotate back in. Robbie goes down, feeding quite a bit of loot there.
Didn't actually get, he didn't really get much though, to be honest.
Maybe a couple rock around pickups and that's it. Sammy goes down as well. 43 points total for Assault right now. 10 players remaining. It almost honestly feels like 8 of them are in ballers.
Yep.
And there's 1 player left in the brick structure to the left. And that might be real. The one all the way up on the high ground. Assault's going to go for the takeover here. The pump shot does not connect. Assault trying to build a branch to stay on top. Anything that they can do to preserve this high ground advantage.
And this is the downside. Getting those 2 limbs, wasn't able to loot a single material. Assault going to have to drop and redeploy towards the lower ground, even though Assault would never want to normally do this. Hand being forced because he's out of materials. Has players just below. Ballers bouncing all around. And at this point, looks like Assault's going to get down under their level.
I believe that's Rocane inside the box.
Oh my goodness.
Assault's creeping underneath. A submarine play like you've never seen before, trying to maintain just on the edge.
Nope.
Sizz Lucky from above, from tempo, gets the shot, the second elimination. 30 points total there as we go into the very end of this game. 9 players, 8 players left. Literally, as I say, as Zaxfo goes down to Seam. They're all the way on the high ground. Sizz Lucky in the middle here, sandwiched between a swarm of ballers and a player with the ultimate high ground. The replace drops in. The shots just barely finishes Willow. A little bit of miss in there, some whiffs. The shot from outside trying to stay ahead of the storm, and the ramp is blocking Sizz Lucky. Going to have to push through enemy structure in the middle of a fight. Catches Seam, who just got an elimination as well. Takes Kriz out. 5 players left. Sizz Lucky, 73 total HP, building up right at the edge. Rocane from the bottom, from no shield, takes the high ground, the ultimate above everybody else. 5 players left, and the Siphon is going to start to feed Rocane back to full before you know it. I almost guarantee 4 eliminations here. Tons of builds, tons of ammunition, a set of minis as well as, and late game we've seen those are extremely key if you need to push outside on the players at the last second. 46 points total in a 3-player lobby. Jack, the trap play. Potentially an opportunity to bait somebody up if they try and climb towards
No,
him.
as
It's
it's
a
just stick it
move.
No, as JT is just sticking inside the zone with the med kit, trying to pop it.
Does get it off.
But Rocane has had perfect movement. Rocane got hit by the zone at the last possible second, drops on down. It's a spray fence. Rocane gets both and the victory royale, and that's how he ended up at the 50 points, Ben.
A cleanup. This is the 3rd victory royale for Rocane so far in the NA East qualifiers for tomorrow. And holy cow.
Yeah.
3 for 3.
One thing that points out was when we joined, when there were still 35 players left, Rocane had 2 limbs. Wins that game with 5. Not being a monster in regards to going and slaying, not challenging everything he can, just peeking out when he knows that he's got the advantage or when the time works for him. Also works out. It seems like he hasn't really been caught off guard too bad, or at least dealt with those scenarios where he doesn't like to be in quite well. Big victory royale for Rocane there.
A key takeaway from that, you have to realize if you're watching from home, we've taken a look at a number of very, very high elimination games. 15s, 18s, so you have players that are getting 25 or more points per game. Those don't happen very often. Please keep that in mind. More often you see players that are making very intelligent moves like Rocane is, for 3 victory royales of the 3 games played up till that point. That's big.
Yep.
That says a lot about strategy and their pacing for the games. They know exactly when and when to not push. And some of these lobbies are incredibly difficult.
Look at Ryan just holding Aegis right on the edge of this zone, wanting this elimination. Actually gets flint knocked. Thankfully for Ryan, hits the shotgun shell, but now the build up the side of the mountain begins. No one even watching this side basically has a clear opportunity to build on up. That might be a life-saving thing as this goes on. Nice cones just to block the player just below, and thought for a second he would try to take this time to pop a mini, but realizes, nope, the storm is his greatest threat here.
Boy, I see that build burning through quite a few materials.
Yeah.
Less than 20 builds left and didn't get the mini pop off. Luckily, this one's stopping right at the edge. An opportunity to get 50 shield, 75 HP, 125. You're still not going to survive a body shot from a heavy snipe, but pretty much anything else, you'll be all right for 1 hit. Ryan there staying inside their box, holding the edit on that pyramid is Cloud from TSM, one of our more dominant players, tap firing with the legendary infantry rifle. Jack, in the right hands, this thing decimates players.
Yes, legendary infantry rifle, legendary RPG, but now looking to just farm 44, 44, 44. Bye-bye, aggro Ryan. Cloud,
ridiculous.
getting even higher up on the high ground now. Doesn't have any minis left, but you know what? Infantry rifle back in hand, looking for more shots to go down range. Placing a trap as well in case someone wants to land right on top of him. More shots coming in, hasn't actually tagged him on yet. There's another 44. Down to just 53 AR shots, so going to have to keep that in mind as this continues to develop. 1 elim so far this game. That was the first one we saw. Look how weak C-God is. Oh my goodness.
See on the very left side of your screen, Ricky rotating just to the edge of the circle. Outbreak down the 1 shot from pretty much everything as Ricky and Frag are inside the same box. Ricky pulls that elim in the siphon there, but stuck outside in the storm. Orion 3 eliminations. That launch pad might be the saving grace. Get Orion back into the circle. There were too many players directly in front of him. He had to take the opportunity to use some sort of relocation mechanic there. The launch pad, very key to making it out. Landing directly above a player that I believe he was actually matched up with just moments ago. Used the launch pad to get away from previously, building up a little 1v1 right here, all the way at the top of the zone. The shot pump does just a little bit. Player from outside, and it's Cloud. Goes down to the pump. Poison trap to try and defend, but it's not quick enough. 27 HP left. Is that the player? Looks like they may have rotated into a safer spot. Orion getting the top down from on this player, but I believe they boxed up just below. They may have rotated. They rotated out already.
Yeah.
The height of this structure.
Look at the waterfall.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Look at how many layers of waterfall they have to do. I don't think he actually fell. That was one of those little spikes we get.
I think he's still up top.
Yeah.
Swapped 1 elim. The compact SMG punishes Tyler's on rotation in, pushing out, looking for the pump shot. Quick edit down and shot at the calves. Gets Ricky the 175. They'll siphon. The timing of the siphons sometimes are so key to making a push on another player. And he went for it and walked. Actually, in that case, paid the price. Looks like a little bit of misaim there.
Yep, there's a Ryan.
Edit was super clean though.
Orion.
The bottom of your screen, another name that we've watched multiple times in the last few weeks. Mega, trying to make his way to qualification for solos. His duo partner Dub's already in. The pump shot from Orion.
That should be the elim, yep.
Shaky goes down. 4 players left. Mega picks up that elimination on Orion, caught on the outside. Mega has a top down on both, but they both rift. It's a shooting gallery from Mega. He can look straight up and know that both players there. Tondes floats down, I believe goes directly underneath, maybe down on the low ground now. The shots from above, and Mega gets punished just a little bit. Gotta look out for the other player floating in still. An opportunity here as the circle is still applying pressure. Mega can't lose track of the zone yet. He does get outbuilt just barely there. Oh, the last second fall, 70, 60 HP. A few storm ticks. The flint knock might come in big here in just a second. An opportunity for a build-up if he needs it is available as Tom is right on the edge. A heal off here. I'm not even sure what the healing left with these players. Mega potentially has the advantage. Tom's trying to climb with the launch pad, but everything is zoned out from above. Mega is owning the entire surface. With a circle this small, it's very easy to zone out your opponent. Tom has to rotate.
Oh,
Storm
my
gets a
gosh.
big hit. Mega down to 27 HP, trying to outbuild and do everything that he can to stay alive. Minis at the last second are going to be huge. Can't pull off a second one. 11. The flame knock goes for it and cannot land it. A valiant effort by Mega, but Tom Dead secures the victory royale.
That's one of those pump shots that when you get hit by it, you like legit feel it in your chest in real life, where you're like, oh,
a kick in the sternum.
That was like a 150 pump that just completely flipped the script on the end of that game. GG's to both those players. Another brilliant end game there as we swap to another match going on in the North America East region. Again, if you're just tuning into the stream, this is week 3 of the Fortnite World Cup online qualifiers. Today is the semifinals. The top 3,000 players from each region will qualify to tomorrow. Based on the region you're in, a different amount of players will qualify for the grand finals in New York City later on this year. For North America East, it's the top 6 tomorrow who will make it on through. So of 3,000 players that will qualify for Sunday today, only the top 6 tomorrow will earn their spot to play at the New York City Grand Finals of the Fortnite World Cup. 37 players remaining in this game. Krusty, 5 of them so far, has all sorts of shields and all sorts of mats.
Top 3,000 and the top 6, Jack, seems pretty easy to me, right?
Yep. That's why I took a casting job, man.
Exactly.
Why don't you play, Jack? Because guess what? The odds of me making it are about as slim as the odds of me not finishing my Chipotle bowl. That's 0%.
Smiles in the chat.
Yeah.
Krusty HD here, 5 eliminations, 32 points total, and honestly a pretty solid loadout, minus the fact that there's a reason he pushed for the Rift here. Doesn't have any mobility in the pocket at all. No launch pad, no Rift to go, not even an impulse grenade. So the push for the community Rift in that moment, probably the best option, as this 50-50 circle starts to close. We've got players in a massive structure here, built up around, I mean, honestly, at this point, one of the best rotation mechanics in the game.
Oh, absolutely. There was Nezzy.
Those geysers are so key because they're available for everybody no matter what. And if you end up not coming across a launch pad, oh, look at this heavy side. I was almost hoping I was going to lose it.
Yep.
Be late in that. The geysers are extremely key for players that don't necessarily have the availability of a rotation mechanic because they're there. They're static. You're very rarely going to see anything built or that close, right around it, right above it. So you have a chance to box up if you're not sitting in a good spot. Nick A30.
Nick A30
as well. Did you know that Outlet not long ago edited a corner out of a box in Loot Lake and double-barreled me in the face? You remember that? It was duos. Well, it was quite a while. I remember it still to this day. I have nightmares about it.
You said, you're like, not long ago. I was like, oh, this probably something happened a couple weeks ago. Then you mentioned the double-barrel shotgun.
It feels like yesterday.
That's been out of the game for a while now.
It feels like yesterday.
Nice shot on the road. And like, legit, the free limb is just so beautiful. More shots coming in. The player redeploying. Unknown army now gets cut down.
Back to back. At this point, players should probably stop jumping off of that, don't you think?
Yeah. Or Outlet will just keep on farming. He's more than happy to have them continue to do that. 28 players remaining in this game. Using the Rift to go, deciding that's the lesser of two evils right now. Would rather keep the health high, keep the mats high, and have a free rotation towards this next circle.
Cease yet again in this game. See Owl and a number of other players we've had our eyes on for previous NA East matches. These monsters out here asserting dominance. Cease picks up a second elimination. The accuracy is uncanny. Anytime, you mentioned earlier, and I believe Cease just caught his own rocket there,
but didn't actually get hit by it.
A slight misplay. But anytime you see a window open in a 1-by and someone is inside, that is a free chance to shoot a rocket through. There's no reason to hold on to the rocket. You know there's a player inside.
And this is a brilliant view. Look at everyone right now. This was a zone that caught a lot of people off guard as everyone's branching on out. On the high ground, you've got Young Beast for right now. One player just above. Cease trying to focus that player on the ultimate high ground with the RPG right now. Has someone nearby looking for the edit. Unfortunately, no shotgun shot yet. Spray coming back in with this epic assault rifle. Only 46 bullets in total. We'll have to use these wisely as this game goes on. Rocket being reloaded right now. Remember, the Rocket getting the increased reload time a few months ago. Shot comes in. Think he got one elimination right there. Does bring him right back to about 100 HP.
Nick 830 just above Cease. The rotation in as everybody's trying to stay ahead of this circle. The awareness of these players to keep just on the edge, edit the windows and take quick shots and reset. You see here, Niddle, an opponent taking ownership of one wall. He quickly jumps, rotates, and plants the ramp there. Another layer of defense. There's no shot actually occurs. Niddle's still okay here. 100 shield, 50 HP. Can't spend too much time in the storm. Might not have to. Gets quite a bit of damage there on a player rotating directly in front of him, looking for every chance he can. This actually might be extremely advantageous. Has the ridge to drop down. Nick 830 gets caught off guard. The pump shot might only be blue, but still hits like a bus. Niddle taking a little bit of damage out in the storm. The shot inside the baller, breaking the walls. Niddle might not have to take the walls himself. The baller might do all the work, and Keys goes down. Niddle picks up another elimination.
And there's the mats Niddle needed this whole time. From 0 up to 100 total builds possible. Heavy Sniper still now in the back pocket. Kearney on the high ground. You've got Schmeck up top as well. Mid-ground is about 4 or 5 players fighting within 2 different boxes, and low ground seems to be about the same. In this one, 11 players left, and we're on the 9th zone. This is one of the most stacked super late game lobbies we've seen so far today. Lunesi shotgun to the back, pleasing. Now gets cut down. Have a fun cue, my friend. Good performance right there. Lunesi continuing to push forward. One player in the box nearby. Does get control of the wall. Looks like the edit will come in. Pumps Twexy right in the back. Here's a rift being popped. Tries to grab the mats. Doesn't actually find any from that brick. Taking a moment to breathe, slowly breaking on through, just keeping composed, knowing there's really no direct threat at the moment outside of maybe Avery a couple levels above. Now it seems like we're down to just 5 players left now. So everyone just 1 layer above and below each other. 6 in total, sorry. There's one more on the high ground.
6 players total. 8 elims. Lunesi in an excellent spot here, but only 40 builds. Dropping, looking for a shot, goes for the heavy snipe shot. The no scope, a little bit of style there, but takes liquid fiber out with the pump. Another player drops in. Lunesi's walling him just outside the zone. He owns the circle, or what's left of it here for the last few seconds as the storm starts to tick. Gets the siphon elimination. Avery goes down. The last second campfire, and Schmeck outlives just barely with a campfire of their own all the way up top. 90s.
Schmeck stayed all the way up top. Just barely survives right there, down to just 20 HP. But in the end, it's Schmeck with the victory royale. Good performance there from Lunesi.
Schmeck, I believe, took that one home with 0 eliminations, by the way.
Brilliantly done. Brilliantly done. Heading to another game right now. Tantric. Just sitting boxed on up for the moment. Exulting and EMAT in the background as well on your screen. After this, we will have a standings update for you all, as well as some replays to look at. So sit tight. 34 players left in this one. How does Tantric elect to play at 0 shields remaining?
You don't need shield if you're going to hit those pump shots. 25 opportunities to do so. 34 players left as we are getting into the movement for this 50-50 zone. You see the bottom right corner of your screen. It's cut right down the middle. There's a crate in the zone. Tantric is sitting pretty. Doesn't have to do a whole lot. Right side of your screen, by the way, if you're curious about scoring and how this is all measured out, James feeds a point right there to Tantric. Tantric gets that quick edit, pushes up, and takes the prize, or attempts to, as another player is trying to contest this loot, and it looks like they're doing an excellent job of it. Tantric going a little bit of a panic there, maybe doesn't realize that corner, the wall that is opened, exposed. Lulu sees it though and gets that elimination. You got to watch all your edges there. Didn't own that side, couldn't close it off quickly, but have to.
Welcome to playing a battle royale, right? It's like sometimes you just draw the short end of the stick and everyone decides it's your time to go. Getting focused by multiple players there, really no way of making it out of it. Darkmoon gets involved in this fight at the perfect time as he's able to drop one player who is weak, getting shield tagged on the second as well. This is how it just shreds through these builds.
30 rounds of the mag is enough to push its way through even brick as it's being built, and that player inside, whoever they're applying pressure to right now, attempting to get the heal off. Looks like it's King Trig inside with Slacks just behind. Aqua's to the front right over there. In the baller, you have a lot of players hanging out in similar spaces right now. Proverbs in a metal tower of their own all the way up top. That little cheeky corner edit closing it off. You see a lot of players do a quick edit and replace to get the transparency for the structure, especially with metal, because it fills pretty much every gap possible to see through. Proverbs going for a shot on a player rotating in. Car goes down the end of this little walkway out there. I probably butchered how you pronounce that. But at this point, Proverbs claimed them as elimination, so that's, I think, this game all they're going to be remembered as. That rift to go, putting them all the way up top, staying ahead of this rotation, trying to say basically hold on to the 82 builds. Yep. They're not sitting in a whole lot in the inventory too. It looks like only a legendary assault rifle and a legendary pump shotgun.
And you see that too, actually, Misfits clicks. Somebody qualified to do it last week. Continuing to stay alive for the moment. This clicks hiding in a box. 50 total builds, remaining just 38 HP. Click's definitely looking for a nice pump shot.
Ammo.
915 assault rifle shots. This is literally just hold down the spray button for the rest of this game. Exactly. Never run out.
This is not, and I believe that's what Clicks is going to go for there. 8 eliminations. And plays like this, just spraying the opponent's structure, dropping in, going for the replace. Gets it, gets the edit. One shot on him, 44 shield, and Ty pays the price with the second one. Clicks pushing in, and the loadout goes from potentially a little risky to suddenly just kitted, absolutely ridiculous.
And that was a wall takeover, wall replace, to then the edit on the wall, shoots out the opponent's ramp, replaces with their own ramp, edits it back towards them, and the pump shot, all within 2.5 seconds.
I'm actually going to ask, I don't know if production can pull that specific play and have somebody take a look at it afterwards. That would be fantastic, and if not, hopefully somebody can get me a clip online because I want to look at that. There was so much happening there.
Yeah.
Tilting. Going down on the outside, net going down on the outside.
Hiding in the corner for a second.
Cuevas, I feel that. I feel that big time. Cuevas pushing up 5 eliminations. Sitting on quite a bit of shield, but not an opportunity to use it, and still won't get it as Tears takes that one home. All the way up top, though. You see the entire field below. The boy Clicks. 9 eliminations, 49 points total, and a double edit there. Lasers Popeye out of the sky on the rotation in. Horn's not going to save anybody in this case when you're up in the air. Clicks going for yet another one. Looking to hit the shots, gets quite a bit of pump damage there and builds up another layer just in case they're going to try and assault by landing together. That's Jake and Bob floating down, landing on the top of the next section of build.
Yep.
Clicks still all the way up top, lasering players as they're trying to rotate underneath. And this last circle is coming up in 5 seconds. Spudlight with 3 eliminations, a very hefty loadout, double pump, double AR. We haven't seen that in quite a while. Might be a reason why, but we'll see if it pays off for Spudlight and move into the circle.
He's not really that good at Fortnite.
What about THG Ironic?
He's not good. I mean, he was an OG. He used to be good, but he's trash now.
What
He's
about
like
Voice?
he good, but like he annoying.
Is he a little kid?
Nah, he 12, but he gonna be on some annoying stuff. Don't invite him. He gonna be like, "What you doing, bot?"
What about Battle Master 593?
Nah, he's not really my friend. I just met him with somebody.
What about Cool Fat Ball 3345?
That's my friend K. I don't know why, but he don't never join me no more.
Dark Pokemon 07.
That's just one dude that I met in random squads. He was running with this dude from the army.
About Olive.
He's a codename though, but I'm pretty sure he's not gonna join.
What about Ziploc ATW?
He was an OG Nagas man, Marauder. He was an OG all Christmas skins, but he always got a full squad. He ain't gonna join.
Alright, hello?
What about Great Kid 323?
This is Black Knight. You can invite him if you want.
Why do you have all these? Oh my god.
Who is this?
Somebody joined?
Yeah, you invited him?
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
This your friend?
No, I don't
This
know.
your friend?
Oh yeah,
Well, he's gay.
But like, I don't think it's...
Oh yeah. Wait, you know him, kid?
I don't think
Ryan, I invited him, I think.
Hold up, go to my... Okay, you wanna go to my YouTube? Here, I'll tap it down in the chat. Alright, type it down there.
HY. Okay.
Yeah. And if you hear some like banging in the background, that's just like my dad. He's like making a room, making a bad room,
Alright,
Alright. Hold on. HYGHT.
Did you follow my YouTube?
King 3.
It's cold phone. You found it? Cold phone. You found it? Just turn it down. Hello?
oh, my voice sound deep.
Yeah. Alright, you have one viewer.
Type in the chat.
Why you have codename Elf and Black Shield on that same time? You're a bot. I'm just playing.
Who,
But
me?
what y'all? No, I was just playing with you. Where y'all trying to go?
I don't know how to mix up combos.
You know a good combo?
Yo, what's up, Intel Blue?
Geo Papa.
I already got people coming in my chat. You see that? Intel Blue.
Yeah. 5 seconds.
What's up, boy?
Can I play? Oh, no, I already got a full squad, man. Oh, later though.
Dang, this is like 2 minutes late though.
Yeah, I know it is. My game ain't even loading in. What the hell is going on? My game never done this.
In the loud house.
Damn, my game ain't loading in. What the hell is it?
Your game ain't load in.
It's like
What?
Minecraft, bro.
You just loaded in?
No. It's not like Minecraft, bro. Oh my god.
This think I scares me. I'm taking this off.
What, Scythe?
Hold on.
Oh, this electric.
ACDC?
I think that's what it's called.
Yeah, for a second.
Hey, y'all got me up.
It's like a mic.
It's people on GL Papa.
Hello. Hey, bro, chill out.
Bro. Hey, bro. I'm streaming right now.
You are?
Yeah.
What's your Twitch?
Yeah, I'll type in the chat. You're joining.
Alright, let me see here.
What are you thinking? Oh, no, I'm not streaming on Twitch. I'm streaming on YouTube right now. Yeah, that's what I meant. YouTube.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna go to your YouTube channel really fast.
Hold on. I'm gonna join back.
Okay.
Yo. Bro, I just lagged out. Oh my god. Hey bro, tell them I lagged out, right? Bro, why do I keep on? Oh my god. Hey bro, type in the chat if you're watching right now. Yo.
Okay, you gonna tell me your YouTube channel?
I lagged out. It's HYGHT space KINGGG.
King, he said that your YouTube is fake.
How's my YouTube fake?
There's nothing here.
HYGHT space KINGGG.
Hold on. HYGHT.
I told you that I told him that you're on YouTube earlier.
KINGGG.
3 Gs?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm live right now. I'm live right now. Duos-solos-squads.
Okay, well, you told me the wrong thing.
No, I didn't.
Alright, I'm watching.
Alright.
No. I got it.
Alright. What did I tell you?
No, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, I was right. Oh, you said it was fake. Type something in the chat if
Me?
yeah,
Okay.
if you want.
I know. That's so weird. I can hear myself twice. No, I know. Okay.
Hello? Hello?
I did.
Hey, King.
Invite me.
Yeah.
King.
Yeah.
Okay.
We about to play with a code name Elf. I'm finna invite you to my lobby, alright?
Alright, invite me.
Hello? Hello?
Alright, I'm finna invite him, alright?
Alright.
I hop in this meat and you know I'm gon' eat it. Look at my dig, I'm gon' get it. Yellin', he bout to get screwed, say he love this feeling. Remember them days, girls that I was stealing. You know that them gay don't like girls that like guys. He put down his pants and he nut in my eyes. After a while, it's come back dry. I put out his dick and he gave me top. He gave me top, you know what I mean. I'm about to get raped by like 14. Oh man, girl, now I'm real like teens. I give him a head, put in their jeans. Yeah. Without his dick, I'm gon' fuck it. We always having fun, so they ain't never bustin'. I ain't got time for all that talk. Soon as I snap, I thought that we fucked. I hate his ass, put him on the couch. For her, made him make him on loud. If he a bitch, my dick in his mouth. He whipped up my dick. I put it in his mouth. Sucked on the tip. I only like dick. I not like the tits. I'm about to fuck him all night and play with his dick. I give him brain and play with his sack. If he's on his stomach and nut on his ass, my nigga be banging, you know that we fat. He give me neck and I nut on his ass. We love the money, the guys are gone. Oh, we fucking I do it for fun. I fuck with some niggas and throw and drop. After the dick, nut on my eye, I got on his ass, he got on my thigh. I don't like girls, I only like guys. I smoke up his dick, but I don't get high. He like 45, I'm only 13. He nut on my shirt and he nut on my seat. I got raped by R. Kelly.
Game show.
I'm done. Psych, I don't date girls, I only
Yo, what's up, bro?
So,
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I'm about to rock Black Knight with Alpine Ace back man. Bruh, the code name Elf left, Armin.
Yeah.
The code name Elf left.
Alright.
I don't know why though.
I can tell you've been playing some season.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah. This not my OG Xbox account though. I just linked my Epic to here like a couple months ago.
I'm listening to music on my Discord right now.
Alright. I only linked my Epic to this account because I got tired of my name and I ain't feel like spending money on a new name.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
Huh?
Well,
Hold on, I'll be back.
You just get a new Xbox or a new Xbox account.
That was Jaden. I'm back. Hey, this one dude just hit me up saying that he had Black Knight. Huh?
I said okay.
I'm going into the bunker of this one.
Hey, Artman, watch who you talking to, man. Hello, I'm finna go on party chat real quick, alright?
Get on me.
Gas the shorty, pull up to the party.
Kids on me, fam. Dude, kids on me, bro. What the hell? You guys gotta sit there, bro. And you're still looting my everything.
I'm gonna get you looted, man. Trust me.
Let me get that tack bill, alright? Yeah. Let me get that tack bill. Oh, yeah.
Hey, I got another Black Knight. I'm finna invite him, alright? Do it, baby, Stevie, baby, ooh, baby, looking for it, shucking for a crazy, pussy guy, Ricky, baby. For that, bounce the shawty, pull up to the party, say I need about 40, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the shawty. Hey, BIV, can you hear? Alright, be quiet now, man. Alright, man. Shut your mouth now, kid. Hello, I'm out of cake, speed, IV, and back. Alright, can you hear us now, speed, IV?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Alright, I only kicked you because if I knew I was gonna fight you back, your stuff was gonna work. Oh, nobody rocking.
I got that skin.
What, Sparkle Specialist?
Yeah. Dang it. I'm about to put it on. Is that your girlfriend?
Who, me?
Yeah.
King is like a brother, but he's not a brother.
What do you mean? Hey, Brian, what do you mean?
Oh, let me find out. Hold on.
Oh, you don't use floss?
But
Yeah.
I'm making my third song soon.
Good.
Where we landing? Where we landing?
I'm going retail.
If I'm bad, will you pick me? Pick me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why you rest?
I'm a little bit bad, but not that bad.
I'm a little bit rusty, man.
We are rusty here. We are rusty here.
Yeah. Some people's like that. Not to be rude, but sometimes I'm a little bit trash. Some different people are too. Ninja isn't the coolest one.
Ninja's not even the best player anymore to me.
Daquan. I like Daquan.
You said Daquan's the best player in Fortnite Battle Royale?
I'm dead.
No, no. I said I like Daquan.
He just said that. I'm done.
I got people on me. I'm not two of them.
I'm lagging. Oh no, I'm not.
Let's go.
Freaking thought I was lagging.
Hold on, let me take the L on him and finish.
I gotta take the L.
Dude. His teammates coming?
I got you. Finish him.
No panic on my wrist.
I'm coming, boys.
Get out of here.
I'm coming, boys.
There's another.
At the party, shawty,
A freak? What the freak?
okay.
Where did he come from?
Is he resident?
Just playing us.
Now that was messed up.
Do it, baby. Stick it, baby. Move it, baby. Look at baby. So component.
I can first, yeah.
Hey, no scope him, King.
Bro, I'm literally lagging. I can't.
That's them PC. That's what them PC servers be on.
Oh
my god, you're lagging. You're lagging.
Ah, stop, bro. What the hell? Why am I lagging?
Hey, and I saw that lag.
Yeah. What the hell?
That was weird. Yeah,
that was weird. What the hell? Yes, party. I'm gonna turn my stream off. Hold on, I'm gonna turn my stream off.
Yeah.